This is the first of the Weight for Age races for the spring season, the Group 3 Missile Stakes of 1,100 metres.
Fives, all our mob at 9-2. Profits is getting out a little bit now to about 14-1, not quite, but almost. Silver Flyer, big tip on course into 3-1. As I speak, about 11-4, about $3.80. Spanish Mix 5-4 out to 11-8, going to pay about $2.30 or $2.40. I think she'll win. Clocker is at 12-1, and it'll be a thrilling race.
Trained by Gay Waterhouse. He's got a good record, but this is a... Off and running in the Missile Stakes. There's a good start. Spanish Mix might have missed it just slightly. First out is Giant Slide. Silver Flyer began well and going very quickly. Burrendar Boy followed by Varicos, and his Spanish Mix surging between horses at the end of 200 metres, followed by Profits and then Clocker. All our mobbers last, but he's only 5 off the lead. Make a line of 3. A length away, Spanish Mix. Profits is scrubbed along, followed by Clocker, all our mob, and Varicos drops out last as they come to the corner. Silver Flyer with the inside running. Giant Slide in the centre, Burrendar Boy on the outside. They turn together clear of Profit. Spanish Mixes flat to the boards, turning for home, followed by Varicos, and Clocker pulled to the outside, is running a bit of a race now. 300 out, Silver Flyer the leader. Clocker's the danger. Clocker on the outside has stormed to the lead at the 200 mark. Clocker dashed away from Silver Flyer. All our mobbers getting home well, but Clocker is a mile in front with 100 to go. All our mob can't pick her up, and Clocker is going to win the Missile Stakes very, very nicely. Clocker beat all our mob. Spanish Mix third, followed by Profit, Silver Flyer, then Burrendar Boy, followed by Giants.
The numbers: Clocker $12.70 and $2.90, all our mob $1.70, and Spanish Mix $1.30.
Good on you, Max. Yes, the Premier Stakes it is, only a small field.
50-1. All our mob and Spanish Mix are both at 9-2, 4.5-1. Skating is showing odds of 10-9 on, or $1.90 return for $1 investment. She's even a little bit shorter with bookmakers. Clocker is a 7-1 chance. Flitter is just over 16-1.
Now, and they're set and ready for dispatch. All our mob galloped between races at Rose Hill on Wednesday and ran a sensational gallop. 800 in 45.2. Off and running in the Premier. Good start. And towards the centre, Clocker is about the first out. Varicos is going quickly, though, looking for the lead and getting it. All our mob on the outside is right up there with trailing. Varicos is well in front coming up the hill, led by about 2.5 to all our mob, and Skating has just dropped off a half length there on the inside, followed by Clocker. A length away, Spanish Mix under a bit of pressure. Further back is March Hare, followed by Flitter and Double Malt, 2 lengths away last on the corner. Into the straight, Varicos well clear of all our mob. Dittman hard at work on Skating on the fence, followed by Clocker. Varicos in front, all our mobbers coming at him. Skating not doing enough at the moment. All our mobbers headed Varicos. Clocker on the outside coming at them now. She's going to outsprint them again. Little Clocker, she dashes to the lead close to home, and Clocker scores a brilliant win over the fast finishing Flitter, getting up for second. Now Spanish Mix might be third, just in front of all our mob who tired. Double Malt a big run, followed by March Hare. Varicos weakened after having...
Numbers: Clocker $6.80 and $1.60, Flitter $2.70, and all our mob $1.70.
Valley, as I said earlier, is the main race of the day, the Manikato Stakes. What a great sprinter he was. He'd give this lot a bit of swish. 40-1. Primacy from David Hayes is, I reckon that might shorten to more or less something round about 4-1. Never undercharge. The hot pot, Bart Cummings has said he's aiming him at the Cox Plate, and this is a beautiful start for him for his spring preparation. Simon Marshall, the jockey, he's the hot pot, even money and favourite. 16.
Over on the inside, Bouverie missed, and they're followed by Green Sweep of Seaosn just behind them. They're followed by the heavyweight. Further back then Primacy, pulled out wide Prince Acumen, followed by Black Rouge. Never undercharge back second to last now. In front of it Silver Neon, and last of all is Rain and Thunder. 5.50 out. Solution length in front of the heavyweight second. They're followed by Prince Acumen third. Further back in the race then came Silver Neon. Primacy being ridden along and never undercharged, taking off around the outside, 5 lengths off them. Then further back Seaosn as they come to the turn. Primacy going backwards. It's Solution in front, turning for home from Prince Acumen, and here's the charge. Never undercharge on the outside, makes a line of 4, grabs them out wide now. With him is Silver Neon. Never undercharges, swept to the front of the 150 metre mark. Full of running now, drawing a length to Silver Neon, and Prince Acumen, and Never Undercharges back bigger and better than ever. Never Undercharge coming off
and it was Never Undercharged, $2 even and $1.30. Silver Neon $4.30, and Prince Acumen paying $7.30.
The talk now is that how far, especially in distance, will Never Undercharge go?
I think he'll handle the 2,000 metres quite comfortably. It's just a matter, Keith, of whether one of his rivals will handle it better. I do think a horse like Mahogany could well handle it better than Never Undercharged in a race like the Cox Plate.
Form your opinions. This is the aptly named Up and Coming Stakes. Watch Mahogany win this with authority.
600 out as they near the turn. Stormy Regent held together by a Nectar Jet Ball. Courts adjourned on the fence on the inside of Botvinnik and Moss Rocket 3 deep as they corner, followed by Mahogany Sportsworks, Dancing Dynamite and Fraternity last. But on the bend, 400 out as they come over the rise. Stormy Regent joined by Jet Ball. Courts adjourned on the inside. Moss Rocket now popped the question. He's a length or so behind the leaders. And Mahogany wider out, starting to wind up now. He's the danger. Mahogany, Stormy Regent, Jet Ball. Mahogany joins them on the outside. And he's going to beat them for fun, Mahogany. Mahogany racing away in the last bit. The riders barely moved on him. He just cantered in, Mahogany, over Stormy Regent, who kicked again. Now popped the question. He's a length or so behind the leaders. And Mahogany wider out, starting to wind up now. He's the danger. Mahogany, Stormy Regent, Jet Ball. Mahogany joins them on the outside. And he's going to beat them for fun, Mahogany. Mahogany racing away in the last bit. The riders barely moved on him. He just cantered in, Mahogany, over Stormy Regent, who kicked again with Jet Ball weakening for...
Never Undercharged in a race like the Cox Plate. Mahogany's figures yesterday were outstanding, certainly superior. On those comparisons, I think Mahogany, at this stage, would beat Never Undercharged in the Cox Plate.
Do you? No, your opinion is a biased one, Max, but Cox Plate, that's a big ask for Mahogany.
No. Mahogany's a big horse, big in ability. The point about yesterday...
Label Mahogany a certainty yesterday. That news went to international. Bruce McAvaney phoned me this morning and said he's even counting the Dorsch marks. Well done, Max. Good odds.
A very, very good horse. I think you're going to see a lot more of Mahogany, but alas, I don't think you're going to see much more of the 6-to-1 they were offering yesterday. This horse. Put him in a Cox Plate with 48.5, Keith. Never Undercharged, 57. Oh, gee, I know which way I've got to go.
We thought the safest bet yesterday around Australia was Bint Masqué. At Randwick, she started an 11-4 on favourite, and she got rolled by a horse whose name looks like a typographical mistake.
You could throw a blanket over this bunch as they come to the 600 mark, and Angst is the leader. A neck on Bint Masqué with Fitting making a line of 3, followed by Centrefoal Spread, Our Fiction. Sashed is 3 deep as they come around the turn, and then Rose Reward and Ragged Ann. Very tightly bunched as they swing the corner, and Angst is almost joined by Bint Masqué. Fitting has dropped off a little coming over the rise, and then Centrefoal Spread, followed by Rose Reward and Our Fiction. Sashed has dropped out last as they come down to the 200 mark. Bint Masqué has to be shaken up to get the head in front of Angst, who's fighting back. Centrefoal Spread on the fence, making a race of it. This long odds on Pop is in big trouble. Angst is fighting back. The Newcastle filly is going best. Angst at any old price. Angst wins the Silver Shadow. Centrefoal Spread, I think, will be second. Bint Masqué third.
Angst the winner at 40-1. Bint Masqué the 11-4 on favourite. Max, Lee Friedman said after the race that something had to be wrong. I spoke with him this morning. He said that Bint Masqué is being extensively vet tested.
Yes, it was a disappointing performance, but it was hard to find any real excuses. Bint Masqué was up with a pace where the winners came from. She looked well in herself in the enclosure. Certainly, it wasn't what we expected. Is it Golden Slipper burnout? Is she going to be one of those horses that doesn't recapture a 2-year-old form? I don't know, but I do think you shouldn't be wiping Bint Masqué just yet.
Look at the list. Let's elope. Let's have a look at her win at Hollywood Park on Friday morning, and I'll talk to Wayne as this magnificent mare having her first start in America.
You run wide out. Now there's only 3.5 separating the whole field. Less than a half mile to... Now pulled to the grandstand side and comes with her run. And Let's Elope on the outside comes to tackle Skimble down at the rail. Skimble, Let's Elope. Let's Elope and Skimble coming to the wire together. Let's Elope on the outside, going to put her nose there. Here's the wire. Let's Elope, one of the nose.
Well, she can find the post. We knew that in Australia, didn't we? She had a big heart and a big finishing effort. That race for mares that hadn't won for 12 months, so putting it into perspective, it wasn't the absolute elite. It was far from it.
Well, that's right, but...
Great future in the United States. I know they're targeting the Beverly D Stakes prime aim. And
Lisa Mares worth $500,000 US. She's up against Flawlessly again, but before was run a short time ago in Arlington, Chicago, Let's Elope going. It's over 1,900 metres, flawlessly.
Flawlessly is still in second position, then Via Borghese, and Let's Elope is buried in heavy traffic. Flawlessly comes to the front. Hero's Love is making a big move to the far outside. Hero's Love is coming toward the front. Hero's Love and Let's Elope finally finds the room she needs. Flawlessly under assault, facing defeat. Let's Elope, Hero's Love, Let's Elope, Let's Elope takes it by a nose over Flawlessly in the Beverly D.
Well, Let's Elope getting the photo finish over Flawlessly, but there's been a tale to tell. That race was run about an hour and a half ago in Chicago. Keith?
Well, it was from the summit to the pits, because Let's Elope has lost that race on a double protest and has been relegated to third. An incredible decision, a decision. I have faxes through now from the trainer. Firstly,
was for interference in the last 100 metres, wasn't it? Not against Flawlessly, but against Via Borghese, who ran third.
That's right, Bruce, and Let's Elope, it's one-way traffic. That's a terrible decision.
Mac, I did give it say. Want the safety of the horse. She's one of the bravest and best horses we've ever seen, the mare. Just measured up. Bint Masque's raced, Angst winning again, and well, Bint Masque never looked to be going like a winner, Max.
Well, she reared at the start. She missed the start. Now, she's lost ground. It's the Lady Jackie-O syndrome, but Greg Hall pointed out this enabled her to travel very sweetly, whereas had she jumped, she would have been pulling outside the lead in what was a slowly run race. Now, you can see she's coming through now. For a couple of hops, she looked like she was going to pick them up. Now, while she goes to the line tenaciously, the head-on films showed that she wasn't really relishing a task from here to the line. She was trying to get out. She wasn't getting to the line. Her finishing speed was good. Keith Hillier can bag her and say she's finished this time in. I'm not happy with her, but her performance overall wasn't bad, but should have been, particularly if you took the short price better.
Well, she goes now, Angst, for the Princess.
Moment Naturalism and $1.70 never undercharge. Time for us to go to Caulfield for the...
We'll complete the line. We welcome viewers to Channel 9. By Silver Neon, a bit further back then. Second last is Naturalism, and Black Stunner last of all as they race up in the direction of the home turner. 500 metres left to go. Black Rouge a half length to Palace Rainer. Over on the outside for Peter, never under charge, looking for the run at them. He's over on the inside, 3 deep to Silver Neon, followed by Citizen Naturalism back behind them. And Black Stunner last of all as they straighten up. Black Rouge will lead them into the straight, tackled by Palace Rainer. Never under charge, looking for the Wilders. Balk for the moment. For Peter down the outside, Naturalism running on. Never under charge, can't get a run. Palace Rain takes the lead with 100 metres left to go. Naturalism never under charge, driving through along the inside. He's finishing very fast, never under charge. Palace Rain never under charge. They hit it, oh, very, very close to a dead heat, never under charge. And Palace Rain, a tremendous finish, third home. With Naturalism running on, never under charge, can't get a run. Palace Rain takes the lead with 100 metres left to go. Naturalism never under charge, driving through along the inside. He's finishing very fast, never under charge. Palace Rain never under charge. They hit it, oh, very, very close to a dead heat, never under charge. And Palace Rain, a tremendous finish, third home would be Black Rouge ahead of Naturalism, followed by Trapita.
The winner's Lady Jackie-O and never... And the winner's Lady Jackie-O and never under charge. Never under charge, 2 schools of thought after the Memsie Stakes. Perhaps he should have won. His nose was in front just before the line. It was in front just after the line. He would have won had Caulfield had a cutaway rail. But I'm pleased that we don't have it, because there are 3 ingredients, aren't there?
Here's how Brian Martin saw the finish.
Mannerism hit the lead from Runyon, Saracen, and then our Pompeii, Innocent King under pressure. Then Air Seattle from Fra, nothing else coming from behind. Mannerism the leader now from our Pompeii. Runyon sticking with them. Runyon after Mannerism and Air Seattle out wider. Runyon's got up to Mannerism. Runyon put its head in front, and Runyon a half length. Mannerism ahead third on the outside, Air Seattle.
And Brent Thompson very quickly back in the winner's circle. The Freedman stable Quinetta, the margins at long neck by a head.
Golden Sword looked good. He also drawn 1 in the Bobby Lewis, got out into the crown, and the thing that's the most impressive about him is that acceleration at the 100 metres when he just gobbles them up, as they say in racing.
Right. We're all armed with the knowledge that you couldn't win from barrier 1 by this stage. That's why Golden Sword went from 7 to 1 to 12 to 1. But we didn't know that Stephen King was going to drop him out, bring him out onto the crown of the track, and look at him fly home, predominantly yellow colours.
You've seen plenty of him, Max. You saw him in Sydney. What do you think of Golden Sword?
Very, very slick racehorse. Golden Slaughter.
Look the one to beat in the Gloaming Stakes.
Start to issue the challenge. Down the outside, Arborea and Fraternity are starting to run on. They get to the 300. March Hare given full rein, dashed away. Here comes the dangers, though. Arborea's the danger to March Hare at the 200. I don't think Fraternity can go on with it. It's March Hare, and on the outside, it's Arborea. Arborea and March Hare. March Hare and Arborea, and here comes Constant Flight from last. Constant Flight races up, and I reckon grab March Hare.
Yes, Constant Flight at 50 to 1. Wouldn't you have liked some of that? March Hare 5 to 4 on second, and Arborea at 11 to 2.
Point of view, and so did Calm Harbour, but the Phantom Chance probably lost a few admirers. We're talking about the television stakes in Hastings. Solvent led into the straight. Calm Harbour's got an enormous reputation. It's running second, and Seaosn Cross in about 4th or 5th place.
Remember, this is only 1,400 metres, a distance that, of course, is too short for Cross. But look at him storming home in the pinkish colours. Cross, that's something that we're going to see a lot of in the weeks to come, both in Melbourne and Sydney.
You got a rep on Calm Harbour?
Oh, I think he's a very good horse, Bruce, and but so too is Cross. He's a champion stayer, and we're going to see him at his best this season, I'm sure. Look at the Melbourne Cup market now. Innocent King still retaining equal favourite.
Over the unfashionable distance of 2,300 metres, has launched many fashionable spring campaigns, going back to the 1940s to Flemington Glory right here. Hey I finished runner-up at Newcastle before winning the 1983 Caulfield Cup. Today, it was Azam, the grey, trained by David Hayes, ridden by Mick Dittman, already a Sydney Cup winner and destined for even greater success. Watch his efforts over the final stages, the way Dittman has to hook him out, stop riding, regain balance and charge for the line.
Dittman badly bought for a run on Azam. He's come to the outside. Glen Post in front. Paris Fire grabbing it. Moods coming through the middle. Moods, more money. Here's Azam. Azam's flying and he'll win it. Azam's got up to win on the outside by a half length.
Azam start destined for even greater success. Watch his efforts over the final stages, the way Dittman has to hook him out, stop riding, regain balance and charge for the line.
Dittman badly bought for a run on Azam. He's come to the outside. Glen Post in front. Paris Fire grabbing it. Moods coming through the middle. Moods, more money. Here's Azam. Azam's flying and he'll win it. Azam's got up to win on the outside by a half length.
Azam started a 7-2 favourite.
I don't care if it was a cow in the paddock that Azam beat. This was an unbelievable run. What weight did this bloke have? We're talking about the grey horse, second from the right, Max.
57.5, under extreme pressure now. On the outside is Paris Fire, who'd had a tough run. At this stage, it looked like Mick Dittman and Azam might be struggling to win, but whoosh go. A check there, a check. According to Dittman, that just got his mind on the job. Now, this is the big part of Azam's race, the finish. 57.5.
You've already said that, Max.
I'm just going to repeat that. That is a very major point because you've got to go back a long...
For a 4th. Ledger was run. 2 horses are expected to come to Melbourne for the Melbourne Cup, Drum Taps and Vintage Crop. Here's the concluding stages.
The last furlong and a half, and Vintage Crop is the leader, being chased by 4C in second. Snurge in 3, Assessor trying to come into it on the outside. Vintage Crop chased by 4C as they race inside the last 200 yards. Vintage Crop the leader from 4C. Assessor is finishing well on the outside. Sonus has come from a long way back, but the gamble's going to be landed as they race up the line. Vintage Crop punched out by Michael Canaan, wins the Ledger.
Well, Vintage Crop has now had 3 wins at 2,800 metres. He's won at 3,200 metres, 3,600 metres, and after that race, his owner, Michael Smirnoff, said, next stop, Melbourne. So this might be the first horse in the 133-year history, the first Northern Hemisphere trained horse to win the Melbourne Cup.
Can be on Vintage Crop and that jockey flotting flies. I'd just like to see Azam with Mick Dittman just chasing him up.
Well, Max, our Pompeii Runyon star of the realm at 8 to 1. I'm going to pass those thoughts on to that jockey, by the way. Great vintage innocent for a month. Speaking of good racehorse, Anks made it 4 in a row. She was 40 to 1 when she beat Bint Masqué the first time, a 13 to 2 the second time. We kept saying that this grey filly was beating an out-of-form Bint Masqué, but her performance yesterday suggests she is outstanding herself.
No doubt about that. The acceleration is what I like, the way she got to the line. On the dam side, she's bred for speed, but she's got a little bit more than that. She's got a touch of freak about her, this filly. She's getting better all the time. But, Bruce, I doubt whether you'll see her in Melbourne. She's not a good traveller. And I know that Noel Mayfield-Smith at this stage prefers to run her in the big race at Randwick and then perhaps turn her out. But she's going so well.
Today's Underwood Stakes. He's now the favourite for both the Cups. Stakes. It's always been a strong guide to future spring winners. This was a field of the highest quality. Viandacross an easing favourite on a track favouring front runners.
Sub-Zero Fra in the side, Seaosn a neck in front, running up to the 650. Runyon is second, one to Air Seattle, hard ridden now from Innocent King. Tennessee Jack on the rail, and then our Pompeii. Our Tristolite's lost her place coming to the turn. Kiwi Golfer Mannerism next, followed by Star of the Realm. Round the outside, Sub-Zero Fra and Viandacross last on the rail at the turn. Into the straight they run now, and Runyon dash to the lead over Seaosn. Air Seattle, Innocent King's under the whip, and then our Pompeii. Our Tristolite coming into it again from Tennessee Jack. Viandacross still well back, and Runyon at the 200 raced away from Seaosn. Innocent King's running on pretty well, but Fra is well clear. Runyon from Innocent King, and Mannerism down the outside. Runyon's entering the whip. Runyon's going to win it. Runyon is first. Fate of the Miners, Mannerism or Innocent King. Close up was our Pompeii. Then Viandacross, who close up was our Pompeii. Then Viandacross, who finished it off well out wide. On pretty well.
Viandacross checked at the home turn, certainly was a good effort in 5th placing.
One that Max Samoy, look at that, it was Runyon's day and he was so strong at the finish.
Well, Runyon has now won his last 2 races on biased tracks, and I'm not going to take anything away from Runyon. Runyon is a good racehorse. Runyon will be very competitive in the Cups, but I'm still expecting considerable improvement from some of the runners that finished behind him on Thursday. Our Tristolite for one.
Opening day of the Australian Jockey Club Spring Carnival is the Weight for Age George Main Stakes. Tackling older horses for the first time, the 3-year-old March Hare showed a touch of class.
2.5 to Mahaya and 2.5 to Beatside as they come to the 700 metres mark, and they're going very fast up front. It's Prince of Praise, about 3/4 to March Hare, a length and a quarter to Soho Square, followed by Oppressor, slight chance on the fence, and then Tiakau Nick under pressure. Further back, Deposition ridden along, followed by From the Park and Mahaya, and Beatside can't keep in touch. On the turn now, Prince of Praise the leader. March Hare on the outside is going comfortably up the rise. 2 lengths away, Soho Square taking a while to get going. Slight chances under pressure. And then Deposition coming to the 200, and the 3-year-old March Hare exploded to the lead. March Hare dashed clear of Prince of Praise. Deposition's the danger, if any. Deposition coming after March Hare. March Hare just in front. Deposition on the outside is charging too late. March Hare wins it. March Hare wins the George Main ahead to Deposition. Slight chance might get third in front of Soho
Ridden
Square.
by
Built like a veritable brick amenities block. A beautifully made grey filly. Ken, I don't know if it's my...
Races, she's won the first 2 legs, and if she completes the double in this race, there's a $200,000 bonus on top of the prize money. And I reckon if she goes past the post first, she'll look pretty good to them. Okay, on the tote, she's paying $1.60 angst, which is odds of close enough to 7 to 4 on.
Aaron sing at the 800 mark, fitting as the leader. Angst has now moved to second. Patty's Victory third. Out deep is Continental, followed by Lady in Need, Sibilant. Entrance moving up but pretty wide, followed by Honora de Balzac, and then Lucy Rowe. Further back, Sashed, who's going forward from Road to Sky. Reign of Honour, Zeta Force, Futile, and Haley's Bella's last as they come around the corner. Now they're packing up. It's fitting in front. Angst got to the girth of the leader. Sibilant taking off around the outside, but under plenty of pressure, followed by Entrance, and then Patty's Victory, Lady in Need, and Continental. Coming over the rise, Sibilant and Angst to the 2 leaders. They've kicked away from Entrance, followed by Fitting. Further back, Lady in Need and Patty's Victory, but Angst has burst away at the 200 mark, put a length and a half on Sibilant, followed by Fitting and then Patty's Victory. But this great grey filly from Newcastle, Angst, Sibilant pulling ground off her again in the run to the post, but Angst does it again. Angst beats Sibilant, and Fitting has run third. Angst makes it 7 out of 10. She pulled a bit in the early and middle stages today.
I don't think she's going to get past a mile, Angst. I took out, she's the best filly in Sydney, and she showed that yesterday, and no horse has ever done what she's done, or 3-year-old filly, John.
Tremendous effort and a good...
Sadly, the Flight Stakes would be the final racecourse appearance by the promising filly Angst. Several months later, the filly underwent minor surgery for a throat ailment, but later died following post-surgery complications.
The day, the Epsom handicap over a mile here at Randwick. Now, if you've backed a horse drawn wide, don't worry. Statistics show that horses drawn wide nearly always win these races. That's because horses near the fence always seem to get checked or hustled and bustled. That's why I like a horse in the race called Golden Sword. He's drawn out wide, he's going to get back, and he'll storm. Another chance in the race is a horse I'm on called Telesto. He's going to get a long way back, and he needs luck in running. But I'm sure...
Wide, in between them, Take the Road, followed by Kingston Bay, Go Story, Golden Sword, can't get on the track. On the story, Golden Sword can't get on the track. On the fence, Idea, and then Kenny's Best Pal flitters a long way back with Corndale, Deposition, Double Malt, Osmart and Telesto last of all. 700 out as they come to the turn. Prince of Praise, the leader from Quadado. Bella Snappers 3 deep on the corner, followed by Mighty Tango, W Bet, then Cohort, Take the Road, My Diamond Ruse, the Perfume Garden further back, Corndale, Idea on the fence, followed by Kenny's Best Pal and Ghost Story from Golden Sword, and taken to the extreme outside is Deposition as they come over the rise. It's Prince of Praise headed by Mighty Tango. Mighty Tango went to the lead. Quadado and Bella Snapper still there with Cohort coming right down the outside. Mighty Tango's in front from Quadado, Cohort, and look at Golden Sword. Telesto is bursting through near the fence, but Golden Sword does a mighty job to win the Epsom. Golden Sword beat the fast finishing Telesto, who came from last. Third, Quadado, Just Story from Golden Sword, and taken to the extreme outside is Deposition as they come over the rise. It's Prince of Praise headed by Mighty Tango. Mighty Tango went to the lead. Quadado and Bella Snapper still there with Cohort coming right down the outside. Mighty Tango's in front from Quadado, Cohort, and look at Golden Sword. Telesto is bursting through near the fence, but Golden Sword does a mighty job to win the Epsom. Golden Sword beat the fast finishing Telesto, who came from last. Third, Quadado just in front of Mighty Tango, Cohort over the rise.
Lucky Larry Cassidy aboard Golden Sword, picking up a late ride again and scoring next Saturday for a crack at the Toorak Handicap.
Now here you come, Shane, near the inside in the bright pink colours on Telesto.
Yeah, I just had to check here. I switched to the inside, and I think I had a clear run there. I think he had enough momentum up to win the race. But what can you say about Golden Sword? An outstanding horse, John. Like, he sat five wide the whole race and still kicked on like that, and he's an outstanding prospect for the future.
There's no doubt the
entitled to be those odds yesterday, really. For this great race, the Turnbull Stakes. I'll quickly run through the betting with you. Naturalism 4-1, Innocent King 5s, Palastrain Saracen, the Phantom Chance 8-1, Kiwi Golfer, that's the one the money's come from, it's 8s into 5s, 8-1 Tennessee 100, and Great Vintage is steady on 3-1.
100-metre mark, Kiwi Golfer leading a half length, the Naturalism. In third place, Seaosn, the Phantom Chance just behind them, followed by Reading. And over on the inside to Shendir, followed by Innocent King, who's making up ground. Great Vintage to the outside, still a fair way back in the field. So is Tennessee Jack as they straighten up with 500 to go. Kiwi Golfer is the leader, Reading coming down the outside. Naturalism is there in the centre. Deeper on the track, finishing on Innocent King, and back behind them, Great Vintage from a long way back, and Tennessee Jack. Kiwi Golfer about to be tackled by Naturalism, and over on the outside, Reading and the Phantom Chances putting in a run. Innocent King behind them, followed by Great Vintage. Naturalism on the outside has taken the lead. Here comes the Phantom Chance after Naturalism, but Naturalism's in front with 100 metres to go. The Phantom Chance is flowing. Naturalism on the inside. The Phantom Chance, they hit it. And I think maybe the Phantom Chance from Naturalism and Kiwi Golfer in a three-way photo. They're followed by Great Vintage. Further back then is Seaosn, followed next home by Shen.
Straight now, Kiwi Golfer went for home at the 500. A length and a half, Naturalism under the whip. Wider out, Reading, Seaosn, the rail, and the Phantom Chance trying to go for a run. And then Innocent King and Great Vintage is next under the whip. It's Naturalism racing up now to take the lead at the 200 from Kiwi Golfer, fighting back, and the Phantom Chance is on with a good run. But Naturalism's in front of Kiwi Golfer. The Phantom Chance the outside. Naturalism, the Phantom Chance is coming at him. The Phantom and Naturalism, oh, very close. I think the Phantom Chance knows Naturalism. Kiwi Golfer close up third. Then
well, it certainly. In the Kiwi, the Phantom Chance getting it by a head, but
the Phantom Chance.
Yes.
In the Kiwi, the Phantom Chance getting it by a head, but
the Phantom Chance. And the Phantom Chance, Naturalism and Viander Cross all clash in next week's Caulfield Stakes.
Rides on the way up. After a Group 3 win in Sydney, Mahogany came to Melbourne, where he confirmed his potential with a comfortable victory in the Caulfield Guineas. Port Watch getting a nice run, second a length. Nipper winner, half further back, you remember. Mahogany on the inside of Waikika Moo Cow, getting up on the inside now. Magic of Money from Let's Cut Loose. 2 lengths further back, Voting, and they're followed by Star of Maple. Then further back, Hark Away from Pride of Rancho, Battlehawk. Well back, Kendall Star taken to the outside, followed by Tails. Battlehawk got knocked over there, and Ferragamo near the tail. Up to the bend they race Pearl Prince and Port Watch. Port Watch got the run up on the inside to join Pearl Prince, who's hanging off the track. And Mahogany is getting out when they turn it off the track. Kendall Star Star. Mahogany's racing to Port Watch in the straight, and Mahogany ranged up to Port Watch now at the 250 from Let's Cut Loose, and then Kendall Star, and further back you remember Mahogany's got his head in front of Port Watch with 150 to go. It's the favourite drawing clear, Mahogany from Port Watch and Let's Cut Loose. Mahogany in front of the Guineas, he's got it won. Hull rides hard and Mahogany takes the Guineas. Mahogany a length and a quarter. Port Watch.
Also returning
off the first day of the carnival, Jim, so...
Second, Port Watch at Fours.
Is with us, Max Pritter loves this.
Old is really in the top bracket this season, but I do think as far as the colts and geldings are concerned, Mahogany's the best. I don't know whether he's up to Cox Plate standard, in as much as he just might be a shade immature. That's the opinion of Greg Hall, and certainly I'm not going to argue with it, but I do think if cuddled for the Victoria Derby, I think Mahogany would be the horse to beat.
Had a great run, didn't he?
That to be the case.
Also returning to Melbourne was the Epsom Handicap winner Golden Sword. With stable jockey Stephen King back in the saddle, the 4-year-old contested the Toorak Handicap.
Back behind them, Golden Sword on the outside, following Never Under Charge up at the 800. Then Spring Hill Lad, followed by Major Decision, Italian Saint. One further back is My Sparkling Star in company with Antwerp, and Ancient Ritual is last of all. At the 600 peg, Black Rouge just the leader. Half a length in front now from Heroicity and Never Under Charge right there to challenge. One Azuro tucked in on the rail, and Golden Sword coming round the outside, still running on well. Followed by Station Hand, Major Decision, Italian Saint and Spring Hill Lad. Around the turn they come, and Never Under Charge strode to the lead from Black Rouge, Heroicity. Golden Sword right behind Never Under Charge, and then Station Hand. Never Under Charge at the 200, just the leader. Golden Sword coming after him on the outside. Then Black Rouge fighting back. It's Never Under Charge. Golden Sword coming at him strongly, and Azuro the fence. But Golden Sword goes home well on the outside. Shades of Gun Send. Golden Sword wins it by a length. Never Under Charge, I think, second a photo with Azuro. Close up Spring Hill Lads.
Golden Sword was the favourite at 5-2. Second, Never Under Charge at 11-4.
Chasing the big
class racehorse. This is an outstanding racehorse. The Cox Plate boasts of having the best field at the time, and to leave Golden Sword out, well, that would be a travesty, because he is one of the best horses in Australia. I don't know about the mile and a quarter. Well, yes, certainly.
Well, hang on, you're about to...
Caulfield Stakes brought together one of the best fields of the season, including the favourite Viander Cross, Palace Rain, the Phantom Chance and Naturalism. With Damien Oliver back in the saddle, Naturalism produced a courageous performance to record his final win of his outstanding career.
Great Vintage, the favourite for the race drawn. And racing. And it was a great start too, with the exception of Palace Rain, who missed a couple of lengths and dropped back to the rear. The Phantom Chance is Rainer's last of all, over the hill onto the railway side, 1,100 metres left. S. Pell followed by Air Seattle, Castletown. Viander Cross is still a long way back, giving the leaders about 12 lengths to that point. And Palace Rainer's last of all at the 700 metre mark. Taoka Nick is being tackled for the lead very quickly here by Slight Chance. In behind them, the Phantom Chance is putting in a run. And also there over on the outside, making up ground quickly there is the Phantom, followed by Out Tristolite and Naturalism as they come up to the home turn. Reading a bit further back, being followed by Mannerism. And Viander Cross a long way back, but starting to gain ground as they make the home turn. The Phantom in the centre takes the lead, tackled by the Phantom Chance on the outside as they head for home. Slight Chance behind them, Reading Naturalism under the web. Viander Cross not in the hunt at the moment. The Phantom on the inside, and the Phantom Chance are locked together there, wide apart. The Phantom racing a bit greenly to the inside. The Phantom Chance takes the lead. Naturalism flying home. Naturalism in the centre, coming at those leaders. Naturalism's won the Caulfield Stakes, close for second and third. The Phantom or the Phantom Chance behind them. Fourth there was our Pompeii.
The brothers turn in front of Slight Chance, Reading and Naturalism under the whip. Still well back as Viander Cross at the 200, and the Phantom in front of the Phantom Chance. Naturalism trying for a run between them. The Phantom Chance on the outside, and the Phantom. Naturalism diving in the centre. Here he comes, Naturalism. A great victory. Naturalism over the Phantom and the Phantom Chance. In behind them, our Pompeii, another nice run.
With a barnstorming win.
150 to go. Naturalism starting to knuckle down to it back in the centre. He's about to get squeezed up. The Phantom Chance. Naturalism driving home. He's going to get up the trap. Yes. Naturalism on the post. Mighty performance.
A terrific win to Lee Friedman and Premier jockey Damien Oliver. Naturalism will be extremely tough to beat in a fortnight.
One of the worst days of my life, the day I lost the Derby on that horse, and to get the sack off it at the same time was a real kick in the arse. But to win today was a really sweet victory.
Second, the Phantom at 40s, and third, the Phantom Chance.
Out a strong field.
One of the best in the last 10 years. To win in that field the way he did, you know.
What about the Cox Plate now, Lee?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to run the Cox Plate.
It's mighty hard to beat.
Oh, well, you know, racing's a funny game, but you know, we've got him there now, and we've just got to hold him there.
Stakes. It was billed as one of the great races, a world-class field. And what a contest up the straight. You know, two brothers, who I don't think we've ever seen before at a Group 1 level, and this brave naturalism who had to go through and accelerate through a gap, and that's a sign of a horse that's really trying, and he went through with Oliver and won.
Oh, the race promised so much and it delivered it. Yes, it looked like the fans
wanted to get there. That was the old naturalism. Yeah. That was the courage. That was the fight, the will to win, which has been lacking of late. Lee Friedman, master trainer that he is, he's found the key. He's got naturalism back.
Max, I've not heard Caulfield echo to sounds with the roar that went up when naturalism won, and Damien Oliver flaring that reaction too. Great.
Yeah, it was a
Viander Cross with the classy 5-year-old suffering back and leg injuries in yesterday's Caulfield Stakes. He won't gallop this week and will be...
Horses during the spring was the Bart Cummings trained 4-year-old Great Vintage. Heavily supported with doubles bookmakers, the mare qualified for a start in the Caulfield Cup with a narrow but convincing win 1 week before the first leg of the Cup's double.
800 left to go. Landowner in front. He's come back to the field now. Half to 3/4 in front of Corchaban and Fra. Next is Beijing over on the outside from Diamond Bases. Frontier Boy wide out. Tall Emperor next, and there's Great Vintage coming round the outside. They're followed Native Zam, and they're followed by Young Pirate. Tennessee Jack off the track is coming into it within the event. Legiro second last, and Flagstaff. A bunched field at the turn. Corchaban and Fra in front with Star of the Realm, and Frontier Boy wide out coming at them. Behind those is Great Vintage when they balance for home from Native Zam in the event. Tennessee Jack's the widest runner. Star of the Realm, Corchaban and Fra in front of Frontier Boy down the running at the 200. Great Vintage is lengthening and coming home. Frontier Boy, Star of the Realm, Fra, Corchaban. Here's in the event coming at them, but 5 or 6 chances. Great Vintage is coming through in the middle with a great run. Great Vintage and in the event. Great Vintage went home best, and Great Vintage won from in the event. Great staying performance to score. Frontier Boy is third, and they're followed Corchaban, 10 in the event. A last-ditch effort, and she's into the Caulfield Cup and outright favourite. And Bart's eyeing Cup win number 7.
Depends entirely how it does this week, and if it continues to thrive the way it has been, it's really putting on weight with racing, so that's a really good sign. So at this stage, I say she's got a pretty good show, yeah.
1.5 to 47.5 kilos. Stephen King in line for the ride.
The Cox Plate, but I think you'd be a better thing. Where's your class in the Caulfield Cup?
There's not much.
Cummings trained Tristalove was favoured to give the master trainer his third 1,000 guineas winner in 5 years. But her bad metre mark and Eastern All the leader to Brompton Cross, Bella Serrata. Capchat travelling beautifully fourth, followed by Trivial Ass. Tristalove next over on the outside as they came down the side of the course here. They were followed further back in the field. Miss Minden trapped out wide at the 600. 2 lengths to Miss Bridia, Arborea, and then Rock Review. Well back Motown Blue and Burette Hardwritten going forward, and then Futile Springtane. Merrow's second last, and Rose Reward last of all. On the turn inside the 400, Eastern All will straighten up just in front here from Brompton Cross out the challenge, and Capchat. Tristalove a little wider out, and Bella Serrata on the fence clear of Trivial Ass and Miss Bridia at the 200 metre mark now, and it's Capchat racing up to Brompton Cross. Bella Serrata the fence, and Tristalove the outside. Capchat's in front down in the last 100 metres. Tristalove, and here's Arborea along the inside. Arborea's flashed home along the fence, and Arborea won it from Capchat. Photo third, perhaps Rose in front here from Brompton Cross out the challenge, and Capchat. Tristalove a little wider out, and Bella Serrata on the fence clear of Trivial Ass and Miss Bridia at the 200 metre mark now, and it's Capchat racing up to Brompton Cross. Bella Serrata the fence, and Tristalove the outside. Capchat's in front down in the last 100 metres. Tristalove, and here's Arborea along the inside. Arborea's flashed home along the fence, and Arborea won it from Capchat. Photo third, perhaps Rose Reward from Tristalove.
This season's $1 million Caulfield Cup attracted a quality field.
A 20-to-1 winner for Shane Dye and Clary Connors. Despite the odds, they were confident.
You just had to be patient and wait. You know, that's the biggest thing in big races. You just got to wait and wait. And if the runs didn't come, they didn't. But luckily, they come at the right time.
Coonji handicap.
This season's $1 million Caulfield Cup attracted a quality field with the George Hanlon.
20-1. Number 2, Castletown. What a marvellous old horse he is. Noel Harris from New Zealand is a jockey. Another New Zealander is at 6-1. 7 Caulfield Cup for more reason than one. 6-1 the Phantom. Fra is at 33-1. Our Pompey, George Hanlon. You saw him speaking with Anne-Marie. Favourite on the tote at 9-2. Exactly $5.50. Channel 9's The Slipper. Shane Dye, RS Dye on Air Seattle at 16-1. 5-1, Patrick Payne. Great Vintage has come in a fraction from 7.5 to 1 to 7 to 1. Stephen King, the jockey, and Telesto, little Alfie Langer as they call him.
Another of those likely winners.
I think Farrar, because he's got such a good record at Caulfield, is a great chance, and at 30 chance, and at 33 to 1, I think he's a bit over the odds, and I'd certainly be having a few dollars each way.
Light is third on the outside of Our Pompeii. Dittman's given us a beautiful ride. Our Pompeii fourth on the rail. 2 lengths further back a Zero. They're followed by the Phantom following Our Pompeii, and further back in the race then Fra. A length into Sub-Zero. Further back Silk Alley. Great Vintage Field Officer. Examination taking off with Slangy Var. Castletown Mannerism. Air Seattle Telesto. And last of all is Azam. At the 600 metre mark, and it's Saracen neck in front of Kiwi Golfer. A length further back around the outside coming into it Fra, followed by a Zero. Over on the fence trying to get out is Our Pompeii. Here's Great Vintage putting in a run from Our Tristolite, dropping out, and further back then the Phantom getting into the clear. Homeward bound on the Caulfield Cup. Kiwi Golfer hit the front from Saracen, followed by Our Pompeii. Dittman trying desperately to get out. Then Fra, and down the outside the Phantom, and now Silk Alley getting a late run on the outside. Fra's hit the front from Kiwi Golfer and Our Pompeii. Fra in front of the Caulfield Cup. Our Pompeii, the Phantom, Air Seattle driving home, but it's Fra. Fra's won the Caulfield Cup from Air Seattle. A photo for third between the Phantom and Our Pompeii and Silk Alley. They're followed for
Which started at 30s, and eye-catching Melbourne Cup runs from Air Seattle 14s and the Phantom at 5s. The other equal
Farazuro, Our Pompeii trying to get out off the pocket on the inside. Here comes the Phantom and Silk Alley together. Kiwi Golfer the leader. Fra's coming in it strongly. Fra race to the lead from Kiwi Golfer, and then Silk Alley, Our Pompeii. Fra's in front, daring there in the line. Fra's holding on. Fra's won it. Fra from Air Seattle, who flashed home wide out. Photo third between the Phantom, Silk Alley and Our Pompeii.
David Hayes lost the Caulfield Cup favourite Palace Rain to injury. Fra, a surprising but more than adequate replacement in a form reversal.
1,000 plus at Caulfield.
End up with a perfect run of the race, and even there at the mile marker, alongside there, Jim Walker, and I just looked over at him and said, well, geez, we've ridden these a treat, haven't we?
Jim Walker, who was riding the Phantom, you actually spoke to him at the mile and said that to him.
Yes, so, and we certainly never know, you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you?
From the Melbourne Cup point of view, from your point of view, Keith, first.
Didn't think that the Caulfield Cup this year contained an eye-catching run, but maybe Our Pompeii.
Max?
What was wrong with Air Seattle? I think you need my glasses. It was an outstanding.
How'd you like to wear Max's glasses?
Certainly, he rode it well. The horse was 1 run short, I think, of his peak. He'll be at his peak in the Melbourne Cup. He'll be a better horse in the Melbourne Cup, and will be very hard to beat in the Melbourne Cup. Oh, wait, is this a vintage year? That's what I'd ask you, gentlemen.
Take note, Keith.
Is this a vintage Melbourne Cup year?
Well,
was it a
I don't know
vintage
whether...
Caulfield Cup?
No, it wasn't a vintage Caulfield Cup, but it could be a vintage Melbourne Cup. I mentioned Fra a week ago, because he'll be claiming it, Keith, this time.
Of course he will.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't want
just remember too that he's put a lot of rubbish on the imports. Vintage crop, there he is now on the second line of betting, as you mentioned, Bruce, has been the subject of one individual massive bet.
Gee, you might be right on and win.
Played as the race that racing purists hold in the highest regard. In the lead up to the Weight for Age Championship, the clash between arch rivals Naturalism and Viandacross attracted plenty of attention. But on racing, and away they go. Viandacross not brilliant away, and first out Phantom Chance near the inside, away fast Kiwi Golfer. Solvit going up on the inside of him, and the 2 New Zealanders in front at the early point of the race. 1,000 out at the halfway mark in the Cox Plate, and the Kiwi Galloper in front. Solvit striding out by 4 lengths. Second is Kiwi Golfer, 3 to Palace Rain. A length further back, Slight Chance. A half on the outside of him is the Phantom Chance. 2 lengths to Naturalism, 8 off the lead. 2 lengths behind Naturalism, Golden Sword. Inside him now is Viandacross, and they're followed by Never Under Charge. 6.50 out, Kiwi Golfer, the first one to go out after Solvit. He's 3/4 behind, 2 further back then in the race, the Phantom Chance. Palace Rain hard ridden, Naturalism in a pocket, Golden Sword's gone around him. Viandacross can't get out, but Solvit the leader now at the 400 metre mark. The Phantom Chance with a run out wide coming into it. So's Golden Sword, followed by Kiwi Golfer, a gap to Naturalism hard ridden, and Viandacross is last, but the Phantom Chance out wide. Races to Solvit on the turn on the Cox Plate. 2 to Golden Sword, followed by Kiwi Golfer. Naturalism, I don't think can get up from there, but out wide the Phantom Chances hit the front of the Cox Plate. A half in front of Solvit, then Golden Sword. The Kiwi takes the plate. It's the Phantom Chance. The Phantom Chance, a length and a half Solvit. Golden Sword, I think, has just got third in front of Naturalism. Then Viandacross.
Then Slight Chance. Viandacross is last as Never Under Charge went round him.
Up to the turn now. Solvit in front. The Phantom Chance is coming after him. The Kiwis turn in front with Golden Sword, a challenger. Then Kiwi Golfer, the Phantom Chance, dash to the lead in the straight. From Solvit, Kiwi Golfer, Golden Sword, and then Naturalism. The Phantom Chance is clear though. Solvit battling strongly, but the Phantom Chance and Bobby Lance. The Phantom Chance wins it from Solvit. Third, either Golden Sword or Naturalism.
An easy win in the end for the Phantom Chance. A Kiwi Quinella Solvit holding on to second for trainer Colin Gillings, the Ram Dream.
I've been in racing since I was 9, rode at the age of 12. The best thrill of my life.
Oh, much easier. I really thought I was in for a hell of a fight, and you know, just turned out to be a knockout punch.
There's left to go.
The front started at 4s, second Solvit at 10-1, and third the John Marr train Golden Sword at 6s.
Time. New Zealander Bob Vance, get the money. Bob, congratulations and welcome. It was the perfect ride.
I had the perfect horse. I think that helped.
It sure did. And Max and Keith, I think, in fairness, it's always a great day. We should never underestimate the Cox Plate, but it probably lacked a bit of the drama and theatre of other years because Bob had the race won, I reckon, at the 800 metres.
Bruce, biggest crowd since 1977, 33,000 plus, and they were stars we expected to be competitive, but that was the easiest Cox Plate win I've seen since Dulcify.
And Max, is it fair to say that for the first time in 18 months, that neither Naturalism or Viander Cross is the most important horse in Australian racing at this very moment? I'm not knocking them, but I feel like there is a changing of the guard.
Yes, I'd love the Cox Plate to be run again tomorrow, Bruce, and be able to take 6-4 about the Phantom Chance, because he is #1 at this point.
About Calm Harbour.
At Moonee Valley, Mahogany started a warm favourite in the Victoria Derby. Those doubts were when Mahogany produced a brilliant burst of acceleration to win the Classic by the biggest winning margin since Tulloch in 1957.
Shelved, and then Paxmat will over on the outside from Star of Somerset. Cloudy Star is second last or third last, followed by Waikikamu Cow and Ice Doctor last of all. Into the straight, 500 metres to go now. They straighten up in the Derby. Pride of Rancho grabbed by Carla Max and Mahogany. Mahogany's eased out for a crack at the leaders and went to the lead at the top of the straight now. Mahogany dashed away at the 400. Hall kicked him out by 2 or 3 lengths now from Carla Max Magwan. Kendall Star is on the outside. No run. Zaremba. Regal Artery trying for a run, but Mahogany. Hall went for the whip at the 200. 5 in front. It's all over. Regal Artery and Shelved are running on with Waikikamu Cow, but Mahogany blitzes them in the Derby. Magnificent win, Mahogany by 7 lengths on the post. Shelved second. Waikikamu Cow got up for third from Regal Artery, and they...
500 metres to go. Carla Max, the outsider, Pride of Rancho, and here's Mahogany. Mahogany's cruised up to hit the front, 400 to go and win away. 2 lengths in front of Pride of Rancho. McGuan is into the career and running on, and then Kendall Star, Battlehawk can't go on, and then Let's Cut Loose, but Mahogany is bolted away. 200 metres to go, it's all Mahogany. He's got the Derby parcelled up, 5 or 6 in front of Let's Cut Loose. Shelved is running on strongly with Waikikamu Cow, but Mahogany wins easily. Mahogany's won the Derby in a canter by 5 lengths to Shelved. Third place
in the Derby, this his first win, and what a rap.
It's been great to win it at last, and I think he's a lot better horse than the other horse I started, even though, you know, one of them was Naturalism. I think this horse is a better 3-year-old than Naturalism.
He made it look hopeless, so it really looks like he can stay, but...
Fastest Derby since metrics were introduced, and the best Derby win since Red Anchor in 84. Mahogany back from 4s to 5 to 2 at one stage, started at 7 to 2.
Waiting to get into Mahogany, Max, haven't you?
Oh, have I ever? I've even got a message from Greg Hawthorne or Max this morning. It's Max. Don't get off a moving tram. You've gone from Mahogany Max to Mad Max with one classic race result.
Yeah. We better fill everyone in. Max's favourite horse is Mahogany. He's been tipping it in everything it's run in, and you hopped off yesterday, Maxie, and picked him third.
Yes, well, Bruce, the first time that Mahogany raced at Randwick this campaign, I did liken certain aspects of his character to Kingston Town. I'd just like to say there's one aspect he doesn't compare, and that's consistency.
Didn't he give some class? Didn't he give some class to a race that needed it yesterday, though? I mean, he won like a top weight for age horse. I know he had everything going for him, but it reminded me of Red Anchor, his acceleration away from them, and that's a pretty big compliment. I'm glad he didn't run in the Gadsden, as you were suggesting last week, Max, that they should try him as a sprinter.
Would have bolted him. Now, I bait
that the Derby has won.
Coming off her win in the 1,000 Guineas, Arborea produced another winning performance in the Wakeful Stakes.
and they are at the 800 metre mark. Sparkling Fun from Merrow, and Arborea is last of all, running up to approach the turn now. The Wakeful field has a little over 600 to go, and Alcove is going to corner just in front of Bundafy and Barbadian, hooked out for a crack at them now. Eastern Ore is just behind these horses, followed by Swift Falcon when they run into the straight. Then came Sibilant under the whip. Further back, No Fibbing, Presage, Asdarf is next, and well back Fine Recipe under the whip. 300 to go, and Alcove still in front of Eastern Ore and Barbadian. Swift Falcon is next. The runs haven't come from the rear yet. Fine Recipe, Sibilant battling, and Arborea is down the centre of the course. 150 out, still Alcove has it from Swift Falcon. Look at Arborea flashing home. Alcove in front. Arborea, Fine Recipe, Rose Rewarder closing. Alcove still in front. Arborea coming hard. Don't know. Arborea maybe from Alcove. There's very, very little in it right on the...
Arborea was last coming around the turn. She produced an absolutely outstanding finish.
Alcove at the 400 sprinted away, 2 in front of Eastern Ore second, Barbadian third, then Swift Falcon. Now Rose Reward running into the race towards the inside, and wider out on the track was Sibilant, and then came Fine Recipe. 250 to go, and it's Alcove, 2 in front of Eastern Ore. On the outside, Swift Falcon running on Fine Recipe and Rose Reward, and here comes Arborea. She is absolutely flying. Alcove in front, Arborea gobbling her up. They hit it, and Arborea's got up. She's got up on the outside and beaten Alcove.
Trainer Clary Connors said even he had almost given up hope on the home turn.
Yes, just after we straightened over, but she can't win from there with 57. She couldn't win.
The Louis...
Arborea, the win, into the straight. Alcove looks to have a winning break. Watch Arborea go all over the boat here. Runs in, she's third last, runs out. Shane Dye having all sorts of trouble getting her going. Again about to run in, and suddenly produces a whirlwind finish. Max Fine Recipe was also a great run, but it's hard to see this filly now getting beaten in the Oaks on set weights.
Isn't it incredible how Shane Dye has got to be so spectacular? This was just an incredible win. I wonder whether Arborea had to be so far back. Certainly she's the horse to beat in the Oaks because she meets most of her rivals on much better terms. There's no reason why she won't run the Oaks journey.
And full penalty yesterday, conceding as much as 4.5 kilos to her rivals. She came from last against the racing pattern of the day. She looks unbeatable in the Oaks. She surely will be a short price.
The McKinnon Stakes attracted a class field, several of which were having their final lead-up to the Melbourne Cup. The runners included the Cox Plate winner, the Phantom Chance, and his older brother, the Phantom, who had run a great third in the Caulfield Cup. With Jim Cassidy in the saddle.
Down the side, about 8.50 to go. Solvet led the Phantom by about a length and a half. Slight Chances third. A length away, Landowner, followed by Fra and the Phantom Chance out 3 wide. 1 further back as Naturalism, Cavalieri out, Tristolite, and then Viander Cross, better than midfield to the turn. Followed by Our Pompeii and Deuce. Great Vintage Azam, well back in the field here as they sweep into the straight. Over on the outside, Star of the Realm and Castletown. Into the straight, less than 500 to go. Solvet a length and a half in front of the Phantom, and Landowner over on the rail, followed by Slight Chance. Frara's running on, and then came the Phantom Chance, and here comes Naturalism now. He's coming with a run, and well back still as Viander Cross. The Phantom hit the front at the 200 from Solvet. Naturalism is battling along strongly, although hanging in on Frara, but the Phantom is well clear. The Phantom's race 4 in front of Frara and Naturalism, and the Phantom, a magnificent winner. The Phantom has won it by 3 lengths to Frara. A half head to Naturalism third.
As a result of the fair,
Naturalism runs on. The Phantom Chance can't win. Frara into the clear, but the Phantom went for home. The Phantom and Jim Cassidy's bolted away. They're going to bolt the McKinnon in. Frara fights off Naturalism for second, but the Phantom by 4 lengths.
A place getter in the Melbourne Cup of 1990. Now maybe the Phantom can go better on Tuesday.
It's hard, but he's proved he can run the distance, and 55 is not badly in now.
At 9-1 has already run a 4th and 2nd in the Melbourne Cup. Frara at 20's Naturalism at 9-2 day. And 8-year-old Naturalism at 9-2 day. And 8-year-old The Phantom is the new Melbourne Cup favourite after an outstanding win in today.
So a very big run along with our Tristolite. But how do we assess this, Keith and Max? I mean, the Phantom steaming away from Frara. Our Pompeii getting going on the inside. Our Tristolite, the grey, running on. And great finish, you notice now, over the top of Viander Cross at the end. Was able to get past Viander Cross in the last.
Stephen not using his whip either. It was a big run. Beneficial run. That was a typical Bart Cummings McKinnon run. Back me in the Melbourne Cup written all over it. A tempo of...
We have the Phantom, the favourite, at 9-2 over Our Pompeii and Great Vintage. Glastonbury and Star of the Realm Didn't accept Glastonbury having broken down, and Star of the Realm didn't accept there.
Nobody has had the success with imported horses that Lindsay Park has. Drum Taps Vintage Crop coming here, having their first run in the Melbourne Cup. Can they win?
I think they can. I just know...
Imported horses, Drum Taps and Vintage Crop. And who knows, this Melbourne Cup eventually could become the staying championship of the world. Let's have a look at the you crop. Welcome as well, Dermot.
Thank you, Bruce.
Gee, Vintage Crop, Dermot, it's been responsible for two of the biggest plunges in the history of British racing, and the Sarah-Rich 25s into 5s when he...
Well, he's got a much tougher assignment on Tuesday. And...
Phantom are equal favourites at the moment at 5-1. Their barrier alongside of them, both drawn...
I don't know whether they'll be able to do it.
But they'll be over their odds, that's the main thing.
They will
a horse
be,
like
that's
Vintage
right.
Crop will be well over his odds, and he's a horse that's probably, in my opinion, the horse to beat.
Yeah.
One of the horses to beat, because...
Poetic King is the favourite with Damien Oliver aboard. Now, away they go. Four Chase seemed to jump away pretty well. Tribute got out fairly well. Going away pretty fastly was Elegance. Janeiro was last. Azawir in front now from Elegancy Tribute. Then Four Chase wide out, he's very green. Over on the inside was a Raider in the Dark, Blessed Ascent. Tribute's running into the race. At the 300-metre point, Azawir in front from Elegancy Tribute joining in. Raider in the Dark storming home from behind them, and then Blessed Ascent and Poetic King getting a move on. At the 200, it's the filly Azawir in front. Poetic King is absolutely storming home. It's eating up the ground. Flying up on the inside, Poetic King. Oh, what a finish this. Poetic King's won in a canter at the finish from Azawir and Crystal Sword. Then Elegancy Tribute in the Dark, Blessed Ascent. Tribute's running into the race. At the 300-metre point, Azawir in front from Elegancy Tribute joining in. Raider in the Dark storming home from behind them, and then Blessed Ascent and Poetic King getting a move on. At the 200, it's the filly Azawir in front. Poetic King is absolutely storming home. It's eating up the ground. Flying up on the inside, Poetic King. Oh, what a finish this. Poetic King's won in a canter at the finish from Azawir and Crystal Sword. Then Elegancy Tribute, Raider in the Dark.
Look at the time, 57.6. That's nearly 2 seconds faster than the two-year-olds have ran. But what a great finish.
Oh, that's an ass, Gary. Unbelievable run by Poetic King. Oh, could be a superstar in the making.
Well, it definitely looks that way.
370 and 140. But a magnificent run. He's unbeaten from 4 starts, and you can see why after that performance.
Well, that's right. I haven't seen a horse.
Well, Pete, I've been to over 20 Melbourne Cups, and I've never seen a plunge like this. Number 1, Drum Taps, has been back for an absolute fortune. It has now joined our Pompeii as equal favourite in the race. The Phantom is still...
Start was in the Irish St Leger. That was back on the 18th of September. Another question mark over him, but he's a fit horse.
He is fit, Peter. They've had a little bit of a 40 cents. Sub-Zero, $7.30. $9 for number 8, the Phantom. The favourite for the Cup is number 9, our Pompeii, at $6.90. 11 Air Seattle at $11.80. 5th Eric Kiers and our Tristalite at $33 and $24.80 for Great Vintage. Diamond Base is down. Vintage Crop behind them, and they were followed down on the inside by Silk Ali. Our Tristalite was deep. Tennessee Jack sneaking up on the inside as they approach the bend. Young Pirate wide, followed by Sub-Zero, went off the rail. Dancing Lord the inside. Field Officer was deep, and then Great Vintage. Ultimate A, Mercator, well back in the field, Cavalieri. Then came Azam. Further back as they come to the turn here, Seattle hard-ridden third last. Castletown second last, and Diamond Base is last. Up to the turn, Tiaco Nick and Frontier Boy together. 3 in front of the Phantom running on. On and then Drum Taps. Down to the 300, Tiaco Nick a length in front of Frontier Boy. 3 away, Vintage Crop starting to storm home from Tennessee Jack. Tiaco Nick in front. Vintage Crop is storming home on the outside. Vintage Crop on the outside grabs Tiaco Nick, then Mercator, and the Cup is going back to England. And Vintage Crop has won the Melbourne Cup by 3 lengths to Tiaco Nick and Mercator. Then Great Vintage Crop.
Nick the leader at the 300 from the outside, Frontier Boy, and here's Vintage Crop. Vintage Crop, the Irish horse emerging now. Vintage Crop is cutting down Tiaco Nick. It's an Irish victory. Vintage Crop has hit the lead from Tiaco Nick and Mercator, and Vintage Crop has taken the Melbourne Cup. Vintage Crop has won by 2.5. It's a photo for second, Tiaco Nick or Mercator for second.
What a great win.
6, 5 and 10. Vintage Crop will pay $16.80 and $5.50. Tiaco Nick $14.90. What a gallant run. And Mercator $30.70, and the trifecta will be a mammoth dividend. Fourth
as well. It truly is an international race now.
I've always believed it to be, and I've always wanted to come here and do it since I landed in Australia many years ago.
Do you think this will enhance the reputation of the Melbourne Cup overseas?
The Melbourne Cup will develop to be the international 2-mile race of the world.
And
back into this mounting.
The last 100 metres, the stamina this animal has got is amazing, and that's his 4th Group 1 win from 16 starts, and obviously his biggest.
Go back about 5 weeks after Keith had observed Vintage Crops win in the St Leger Stakes, and this is what happened on Sports World.
Well, Vintage Crop has now had 3 wins at 2,800 metres. He's won at 3,200 metres, 3,600 metres, and after that race, his owner, Michael Smirnoff, said, next stop, Melbourne. So this might be the first horse in the 133-year history, the first Northern Hemisphere trained horse to win the Melbourne Cup.
Well, he's not in the market. Max is having a laugh back there. He's not in the market at the moment, Max. You don't think he can win, Max?
No, well, look, Keith can be on Vintage Crop and that jockey flotting flies. I'd just like to see a Zam with Mick Dittman just chasing him up.
I don't know who put that on, but gee, I want to congratulate the nut.
You know who put it on.
Because you've made so many headlines this week. Restructuring the VRC, telling them exactly when they should have the handicapping and what went wrong from an Australian point of view. But it's been suggested you've been a poor loser this week. Do you think you've been taken out of context?
I believe so. I didn't make that comment. I think a member of the VRC made that.
Talking about changing when the handicap should be released, Bart.
Correct.
But you still feel the
Australian prize money alone is higher than the whole of Europe put together.
To bring that horse over here, get him acclimatised, get him so good. I believe he was a week short, but he was still quite a few lengths better than the best that we could produce.
One of the most cleverest men in the world, I'd say.
But how many of these horses are over there, over in Ireland or England or Europe, that are capable of coming out here and winning our Cup?
We have a few Van der Cross and the Galilee and various sprinkling of champions, but the depth of the Northern Hemisphere is far, far more higher and deeper than we have in this country. They might have 5 or 6 Galilees a season. We're lucky to have one in every 20 years.
Brentwood Crop was summer.
I don't think I would have beaten.
Keltree's jumped away fairly well. Alishan and Sportsworks are making a V-line to the outside rail. The other 5 horses are Rouge and Allen on a length and a half to Gold Rose. Then Keltrees and Danjiki. And down the grandstand side, Sportsworks is 2 lengths in front of Alishan, making up good ground on it. About 4.50 to go. Allen went to Black Rouge. Gold Rose joins in. So does the favourite Keltrees. Danjiki hard-ridden 3 lengths away down the grandstand side at Sportsworks and Alishan. On the flat side, Gold Rose got to Alanon. Keltree's been called for walk, lost a little bit of ground there. Sportsworks down the outside. Gold Rose is in front though, got away from Alanon. Then Keltrees and Sportsworks, but it's all Gold Rose. Opening right up, he's going to win easily. Gold Rose wins the Linlithgow Stakes about 5 lengths to Alanon and Keltrees. Then on the flat side, Gold Rose got to Alanon. Keltree's been called for walk, lost a little bit of ground there. Sportsworks down the outside. Gold Rose is in front though, got away from Alanon. Then Keltrees and Sportsworks, but it's all Gold Rose. Opening right up, he's going to win easily. Gold Rose wins the Linlithgow Stakes about 5 lengths to Alanon and Keltrees. Then Sportsworks, Black Rouge and Gold Rose, he just put a space on them inside the last furlong.
Well, he's a beautiful looking horse. They ran 1:10.3, which is very good time.
7 for the Crown Casino Oaks of 1993. Crown Casino Oaks, Gates fly back, Trivia Lass missed the start 2 lengths, and also Oaks Day was a bit last of all. 8 lengths between first from last. 700 metres to go, and still Eastern Aura half a length in front of Sibilant. Barmin Galid has been ridden along. Shellacking was wider out. They were followed by Fine Recipe. Arborea saving ground, gets to 4th before the turn. Then Give Me a Buzz under the whip and Diamond Gypsy. And Rose Reward struggling back at the tail. Trivia Lass running on. 400 metres left to go. And getting up on the inside, Barmin Galid hit the front. But here comes Arborea. Arborea with a very strong run has loomed up on the outside of Barmin Galid. They're 3 in front of Trivia Lass and Oaks Day from a long way back. But Arborea surged to the front, 200 to go. She kicked 2 clear. Oaks Day is running on strongly, and then Barmin Galid and Trivia Lass. But it's Arborea and it's a favourite, Oaks. Oaks Day trying hard, then Give Me a Buzz, but Arborea wins. Arborea wins the Oaks by 2 lengths. Second in was Oaks Day. Give Me a Buzz ran 3rd. Then Trivia Lass and Fine Recipe. $2.40 and $1.30 for Arborea. Shane Dye, the winning rider, and also Jules Success.
But she has run into a very ordinary bunch of 3-year-olds this year.
There's no doubt about that, I believe, but she's a very good filly and she can't do more than win. And she's been there's no doubt about that, I believe, but she's a very good filly and she can't do more than win. And she's been winning very impressively.
Arborea 6-4 favourite, Oaks Day second, the topical tip of the year, a good run. But
she's beaten
a good run. But
she's beaten 2 maidens. I thought the second horse was a terrific run. Where do these horses go from here?
I think Arborea will always have the wood on Oaks Day. She's gone through the clean sweep, Bruce, the 1,000 guineas to Wakeful and the Oaks. She's the best filly.
Oh, yes, and Clary Connors...
Made Elishan in the Gadsden Stakes. The David Hayes-trained Primacy stepped up to 1,600 metres for the Nissan Stakes on the final day of the carnival.
Followed by Deposition. Followed by Deposition, Excited Angel. 2 or 3 lengths further back is Cabura, Telesto, Italian Saint, and Osmarta's last of all. At the turn of the Nissan, 600 left to go now. Station Hand on the inside, just in front of Firo. In behind those horses into the straight, then is Primacy, and they're followed by Terrari. Next to Zuro, followed by Spring Hill Lad and Cogitate. Wider out, Valdezere given full bore, and then Ghost Story and Burst is looking for a way through, followed by Carson's Cash. At the 300-metre mark, and Firo hit the front with Primacy along the inside. Then Terrari, followed by Corndale. Further back in the field, Valdezere and Excited Angel, but Primacy got a length in front of Firo. Telesto along the inside. Primacy in front. Excited Angel flashing home out wide. Primacy's won it. Primacy. Excited Angel, I think, second from Firo, and no room. Telesto on the fence.
Primacy's first group.
Then Spring Hill Lad jockey, $21.50 and $7 will be the dividend for Primacy. Excited Angel was well back, and as customary, has run on hard late.
Just here, yes, he runs completely out of room and probably cost him second place. Gee, Primacy, he's a decent horse, and to win the Newmarket in the 1 year and the old Honda, Nissan and George Adams. Shaftesbury Avenue did it recently, but he did it the other way around. He'd won the mile race and went back and won the 6.
Dave and Paul O'Sullivan won the first of their 7 Group 1 races for the season at Riccarton.
Round the far turn they go, and La Bissus is followed by Covered in Grey. The youngies on its inner, giving a little bit of ground. Girardet in the centre, getting past it now is Thrilling Day. It's followed around the outside by Calzone and Snaps in the centre. On the fence, Sabbatical. It's followed by Silver Chalice, Dozen Roses, and last of all is Gold Forever. Heading for home, 500 metres to go in the Guineas, and Waihora's Lass in front by about 2 lengths now. Covered in Grey is coming to it quickly. La Bissus back on the inside, starting to show up on the outside is Thrilling Day, and Snap has been brought to the outside by Lance O'Sullivan. Just in behind those, trying to wind up is the youngie. They get to the distance, they've got to Waihora's Lass, and Snap has bolted to the front. It's Snap in front from Thrilling Day and Covered in Grey, then Waihora's Lass and the youngie, and further back Sabbatical. But Snap's got this one in the bag, goes to the line to win the Guineas this year, and it's Snap in front. Thrilling Day is running to second, Covered in...
Able at Ellerslie on Boxing Day was the filly Popsy. Not since Tidal Light in 1986 had New Zealand's Derby been won by a filly, which makes Popsy's effort against the Colts all the more outstanding.
Ranches got back on the inside. Silent March commences a run 2, followed Eastern Alliance, Popsy and Soundwave, but round the turn they come. New Zealand Herald, Derbyfield goes for home. Western Red the inside. Sharton Heights put its head in front, and it's kicked about a half on Western Red, followed by Tristalad, Seascape the favourite, winding up centre track. There followed Catalan Gold, Gold Star, and a late run from Popsy down the outside. Sharton Heights in front and clear 2 lengths on Seascape. Popsy's coming home pretty well. Western Red, Sharton Heights in front of Seascape and Popsy. Sharton Heights out wide, Popsy going to it on the outside. Popsy got it. Second home photo, Sharton Heights or Seascape.
With her Derby victory, Popsy becomes the 39th individual Group 1 winner from the world champion sire, Sir Tristram. Back in New Zealand, the Wellington Racing Club's Summer Carnival got underway at Trentham. The O'Sullivans were back in the limelight once again when Snap won the Oaks to complete the fillies' classic double.
A bit of a packing field in the Oaks just before the turn at the 500 metres. Human Touch turns first from Sound Lover. Waihora's Lass needs an inside run, looking to get out now. Here comes Snap on the outside and facing the music 2 lengths behind her. Snap's gone to the lead in the Oaks. She's out by a couple of lengths on facing the music. The chaser with Human Touch, Waihora's Lass, and then Mess, but it's Snap clear in the Oaks with 100 metres to go. She's 3 lengths on facing the music, Waihora's Lass. Mess is arriving late with Silver Chalice, but she's blitzed them. What a win, Snap. Snap too good, nearly 4 lengths, very, very close second and third. We've got Facing the Music and
Snap.
We've got Facing the Music and
Snap turned the Oaks into a one-act affair to win the 3rd Group 1 event of her career. A daughter of...
The 3rd day of the carnival features 2 Group 1 events. The first being the Wellington Cup. Top weight with 58 kilograms was the Grand Stayer Castletown, a previous winner of the Cup on 2 occasions.
Ultimate Aim starting to go forward and Castletown circling the field. Back in behind them then is going to be Tough Enough to his mana. Over on the outside, Discard goes forward with Starring just before the turn, then Ace of Luck. Back in the races, the Yapper as they swing the corner, and Torbo, Newbury Star hit the front. From Lord Majestic back on the inside. Placido's coming after them over on the outside, and Castletown's giving a sight here. Castletown ranged up to Newbury Star. Placido between them. Starring is now starting to run on, but he's hit the front. Castletown. He's a length clear on Placido. Torbo late, but it's Castletown. The dream burst into reality, and Castletown's going to win the Cup. That is third. Castletown, the champion's done it. Torbo second. Ultimate Aim's got the third. Newbury Star hit the front. From Lord Majestic back on the inside. Placido's coming after them over on the outside, and Castletown's giving a sight here. Castletown ranged up to Newbury Star. Placido between them. Starring is now starting to run on, but he's hit the front. Castletown. He's a length clear on Placido. Torbo late, but it's Castletown. The dream burst into reality, and Castletown's going to win the Cup. That is third. Castletown, the champion's done it. Torbo second. Ultimate Aim's got the third. What a thrill here.
Castletown received a great ovation from the big crowd at Trentham following his Cup success. Having his 13th start at 3,200 metres, the Wellington Cup was Castletown's 4th victory over the metric 2 miles. Ridden by regular partner Noel Harris, Castletown emulated the achievement of great sense.
His victory in the Magic Millions of 1994 is probably one of the most emotional and one of the most instant charged and you know, sensational. This is what he did. It was an outstanding ride by an outstanding racehorse.
Brave Warrior near the inside began brilliantly. He's showing speed today. Motor City came out fast and out wide. Discreet Lady and going quickly. St. Covered and Mace K Spill from Peter's Pride. Jakarian further out on the track. Yinchenko, Proud Hero. Then came Brave Warrior. He's about centre field and drifting back to Minio's wide. Going forward, Scenic Star Lady at the 700 led from St. Covered out wide. Mace K Spill from Motor City. Then came Peter's Pride. Yinchenko's very wide with Dominio. They're going forward. They're followed by Jakari further back. Proud Hero, Monster. Brave Warrior 4th or 5th last from Scenic Star. Ivory's Irish. Then came Princess Todd. An impulsive moment, one of the last ones on the turn. And the Flying Filly, Discreet Lady first for home. Die shakes up St. Covered on the outside. 2 lengths away, Motor City, Chikari and Chinko, Dominio, Mace K Spell, and Brave Warrior getting a split. Discreet Lady at the 200 still in front. St. Covered flat to the floorboards. 2 lengths away, Brave Warrior starting to steam home. St. Covered's coming at Discreet Lady. Brave Warrior's flying. St. Covered in front. Here comes the Queenslander. Brave Warrior, yes, he's too good. Brave Warrior's got up to beat St. Covered and Discreet Lady third from Ivory's Irish K Spell, and Brave Warrior getting a split. Discreet Lady at the 200 still in front. St. Covered flat to the floorboards. 2 lengths away, Brave Warrior starting to steam home. St. Covered's coming at Discreet Lady. Brave Warrior's flying. St. Covered in front. Here comes the Queenslander. Brave Warrior, yes, he's too good. Brave Warrior's got up to beat St. Covered and Discreet Lady third from Ivory's Irish. Then Chikari further back in the field. Motor City, out of the race, Princess.
Yeah, that was a great day. One of the best days I've ever seen at the races ever, including all the Group 1 races that we have around.
Let's have a look at him. Hariba winning yesterday.
At the 500, Hariba about a neck in front, travelling comfortably. Crystal Sword niggled at second now, and King Cora hard ridden a length and a half away third. And Hariba kicked clear of Crystal Sword coming around the home turn, has not moved on this. Hariba under tight rein got 2 in front around the bend from Crystal Sword. King Cora, Blessed Ascent and Cape View. They've less than 200 to go now. Clark just urges Hariba forward and he kicks 5 in front in the twinkling of an eye. He is good. Hariba racing away from Crystal Sword and King Cora. And look at this. This is smart. Hariba won it by 8 lengths on the line to Crystal Sword second. King Cora, Blessed Ascent and Cape View. They've less than 200 to go now. Clark just urges Hariba forward and he kicks 5 in front in the twinkling of an eye. He is good. Hariba racing away from Crystal Sword and King Cora. And look at this. This is smart. Hariba won it by 8 lengths on the line to Crystal Sword second.
But did you cop it?
Yes, I thought that the sectional times by Hariba were just freakish. This is obviously a very, very good racehorse.
You know, his effort yesterday was as good as when Scalacci broke the track record at Sandown that day when he won a restricted 3-year-old race. So, you know.
So what do we learn from this? Do you think this horse could be a near champion?
Well, it was a champion's performance yesterday because he did it in hand and he ran the time. So You couldn't have seen a better win.
Well, look at the headlines in the papers around Australia today. Clark went so far as to suggest the horse might be the best he's ridden. David Hayes has just swallowed his coffee. He rode Better Loosen Up and won a Japan Cup. He might be the best sprinter since Manikato. That's the sort of silly statement I might make, Max, to you.
Yes.
Don't you
no
laugh.
doubt about that. But the statement is supported by times, and while Hariba yesterday didn't beat anything, it was just that incredible acceleration he showed. Why you can't hardly say that Hariba is in the same category as Manikato or Scalacci, but by gee, he showed he's got the foundation to get there.
I mean, there is Michael Clark. Michael, who's been riding the new wonder horse of Australian racing, Hariba. And what an impact this horse has had, Keith. We just talked about it with Neil Fraser a moment ago. Frank Sedgman, one of the part owners of Hariba.
He's a very exciting sprinter, Bruce. Yesterday was his 4th win on the trot, and he's won those races by an aggregate of 26 lengths. And he passed a few tests yesterday. He's very good.
He said he passed a lot of tests yesterday. He certainly did it in fine style. You didn't ride him for pace. You sat second. Was there a query about the 1400 in the back of your mind?
Well, the main thing, Bruce, was that the horse might be going for the Australian Guineas, the mile race. And I just wanted to ride him a little bit quiet to see if he could relax, and he might be more benefit once he goes to the 1600 if he can ride him just off the pace.
That's Hariba outside the leader in the pink cap. Mick Clark took a peep around there. Now, Damien Oliver in the yellow cap on Paris Lane puts the pressure on Hariba, looks for a flaw in the youngster, but there isn't one.
Was there a doubt in your mind, Mick, that he wouldn't respond for a moment or two?
Not really, Bruce. The big thing was when I watched the replay, if you notice, I probably just sat a little bit long on the horse holding him together, and I was surprised the other horse sprinted to me so quickly. And when Paris Lane did come out of Hariba, they put a big gap in the rest of the field, and it wasn't really till about the last 300 that I asked him to go.
He ran 46.2. Was it? You got a short memory? Better loosen up an Elm. You rode a horse called Special once, didn't you, in Primacy and those horses?
Yeah, no, I mean, Special's the best sprinter I've ridden, Bruce, and I didn't quote it that way. I said potentially this horse might, you know, he might be capable of matching the same record as Special and go along those lines.
The Victoria Derby winner even surprised the Freedman stable with the ease of his first-up win, a victory which prompted jockey Simon Marshall to declare that the horse will not be beaten this autumn. This victory at Sandown on January the 22nd. First up, over the unsuitable distance of 1,000 metres, Mahogany simply toyed with his opposition, running a brilliant 56.8 seconds into a headwind.
But Mahogany, what a great comeback.
He surprised us a little bit too. I mean, we thought he'd run well fresh because he had done in Sydney his last preparation, but, you know, to come out and do it in that sort of fashion, he got under our guard a little bit too, I think.
It's times. Having his first run at Group 1 level, Hariba met some quality opposition, including the champion Scalacci at Moonee Valley in the Australia Stakes. Formerly known as the William Reid Stakes, the race produced an exciting finish with the filly...
5-year-old Scalacci, a winner of $1.8 million in stakes, versus 3-year-old Hariba, a winner of just $46,000. But it was the youngster which went out an even money favourite in what was considered a dead-set match race.
650-metre mark, Allen on a neck in front. Hariba on the outside, 2 lengths into Scalacci on the outside of Primacy. A length and a half to March here. Lady Jackie O and 3-2 were last of all Pearl Prince. At the 450 now, the acid test is on Hariba. He strides up to Allen on before the turn. A length and a half further back, Scalacci being called on as Hariba sweeps to the front. It's Hariba the leader from Allen on when they turn 250 out. 2 lengths further back, Scalacci followed by Primacy and Lady Jackie O. Hariba in front, 150 metres to go. Draws 2 lengths in front. Lady Jackie O out wide, flashing home. Hariba in front. Lady Jackie O lunges, got up. Lady Jackie O, the filly, has tipped out Hariba in the last stride. Primacy third.
Trained by Scalacci struggling.
Hariba Valenon took the lead by a length. Scalacci and Lady Jackie O starting to fly with Primacy. Hariba in front. Lady Jackie O flying on the outside, causes the upset. Lady Jackie O's got up to win 3/4 to Hariba, Primacy third.
Lady Jackie O took her stakes earnings past $650,000 with the brilliant win, even if jockey Stephen King...
A lot of controversy surrounding it. Hariba looked the best of good things beaten. It was a shocking day in Melbourne, so windy and hot. He misses the kick. He's back absolute now. Alanon shows tremendous pace to lead. Scalacci got away well. Now watch Hariba, second last, and Keith, this was the key in the next 200 metres to the race.
Well, Michael Clark bought her wide open, and Hariba not...
Right, Primacy third, then Scalacci, followed by Alanon.
I think the thing to come out of the race is that Hariba's every bit as good as we thought he was. Lady Jackie O was great, by the way, and Primacy was excellent, and Scalacci looked a touch big.
Today the races are at Flemington. We're taking you now to race 5, the Chester Manifold Stakes. Your race caller
is John Russell.
The back of Station Hander, 2 lengths away then is Great Vintage over on the inside, being followed by Chevelle Cavalier nearing the home turner, 700 metres out, and Jack Pillar's the leader by length to Seaosn. They're closely followed over on the outside, Burvedo. Durbridge looks to be going well just behind them, fourth as they swing for home, 2 lengths to Station Hand. Walter at the head of the others, and further back in the field then Chevelle Cavalier. Out Pompey's a mile back, and so is Great Vintage coming down towards the 400 metre mark now, and Jack Pill about to be tackled by Burvedo. And here comes Durbridge down the outside, putting in a great run, and Seaosn is also in the picture, but Durbridge has swept to the front with 200 metres left to go, has kicked away now. Great Vintage running on well down the outside second, and Station Hand finishing on. Durbridge is the leader. Great Vintage is starting to fly home, but Durbridge has got it shot to bits. Durbridge too good, wins it by 2 lengths to Great Vintage. 2 lengths away third, Station Hand. Our Pompey was a good run fourth. In behind them Chevelle Cavalier, Verdetto.
Fold stakes, Durbridge paid $3.20 and $1.50 for the place. Great Vintage was second, paying $2.10, and Station Hand third, $1.08.
Followed by Battle Hawk and Pearl Princess in them. Waikika Mukau second last, and last of all is Mr. Mutual Respect running down towards the 1100 metre mark, and there's not much speed on her. And Super Act is the leader by a half length in advance now. Going up to take it on was March Here, and Mahogany is close handy in behind them. Mr. Mutual March Here on the outside of Super Act. A length further away is Mahogany over on the outside of Let's Cut Loose, followed by Battle Hawk. 2 lengths away to Waikika Mukau second last, and Pearl Princess last of all as they round the home turner. 550 metres left to go. Mr. Mutual Respect the leader. He's about 2 lengths clear. Super Actors down the outside, followed by March Here, and then Battle Hawk and Mahogany is in behind them, and they're followed by Let's Cut Loose and Waikika Mukau down past the 400 metre mark, and Super Actors moved up on the outside to tackle Mr. Mutual Respect, and they're clear of March Here, and here comes Mahogany down the outside, rattling home, and Waikika Mukau down past the 200 metre mark. Mahogany on the outside is grabbing Mr. Mutual Respect, who's fighting on well, but Mahogany will be too good. Mahogany in front. Mahogany wins it. Mahogany's won from Mr. Mutual Respect, and Let's Cut Loose close up third. They're followed by Super Act, back behind them Waikika Mukau, Pearl Prince followed by...
Unofficial winner Mahogany, what a good horse. Great win there at Fleming.
Get Tony Gregg, yes, the Expressway Stakes to be run under standard weight for age conditions, and you couldn't get a smarter field at this early stage of the season. The Expressway Stakes, he hits the button and Miss Kariba, the leader by a bit more than a length to Skating. Big Dreams in the centre, Mighty Tango makes a line of 3, a length away Campaign Warrior. Then Sublimate, All Our Mob, followed by Soho Square, who's trapped wide. Further back, Antwerp as they come to the turn, W Bet between horses. And then Fine Design, followed by Air Seattle. Bursters second last as they turn the corner, and 2 lengths away last is Corndale. Straightening up the leader, Miss Kariba, over Skating now taken away from the fence, and she's going up to tackle Miss Kariba as they top the hill. Big Dreams putting in a dash, followed by All Our Mob, and then Sublimate and Soho Square coming right down the extreme outside. At the 200, Skating joins Miss Kariba. Big Dreams has All Our Mob out of the pack, and Soho Square on the extreme outside. Skating tackled by Big Dreams, All Our Mob and Soho Square. Lunging at the lot of them. Is it Jimmy Cassidy again? Yes, it is. Soho Square got up to beat Big Dreams, and Skating in a thriller to the Expressway. All Our Mob has just missed the place, followed by Sublimate, Miss Kariba. Then W Bet, Air Seattle, followed by Corndale. Just slightly, and it looks to have missed the place by a whisker, although there's really not a lot in it. It's
$8.90 for Soho Square. That's good odds for top horse first up. $3.10 for a place. Big Dreams, well, Victorian Dreams aren't so big here at the moment, $2.20. And All Our Mob, that's Greggy and his hanger-oners, $2.40.
And third behind Lady Jackie-O at Moonee Valley continued his autumn campaign in the CF4 Stakes at Sandown. Primacy's jockey Mick Dittman was looking for his first Group 1 winner of the season.
Primacy biding his time on the inside. Behind him, Runyon and Golden Sword. Excited Angel last, swinging into the straight at the 400 now. Homeward bound on the CF4, Asian Incline raced up to Gifted Poet. Primacy 2 lengths away under pressure from Fra. Next is Runyon, not going on at the moment, and Excited Angel is pulled to the outside from Golden Sword. Asian Incline in front. Primacy coming after it inside the 200 metre mark, clear of Fra. It's Primacy racing up to Asian Incline. Primacy takes the lead from Asian Incline, and then Fra, and Primacy drawing on the run home has a head advantage, and Primacy won it from Asian Incline by a head, and Fra is third. Then
across the Tasman,
might even send him to Brisbane and keep him fresh for there. Group 1 Ore Stakes upgraded to Group 1.
Primacy got the cart along all the way. Golden, he was back from 4s to 11 to 4. Golden sort of drifted 7 to 4 out to about 13 to 4. Primacy, it was an excellent performance. This is his third Group 1 win. He's had 4 placings at the top level as well. Very good horse.
Dittman, who's having a great association with David Hayes, was able to get Primacy home, and well, he's running the old William Reid was excellent behind Hariba and also Lady Jackie.
Apollo Stakes coming up, a great field, Group 2, Wait for Age, and that's the horse that everybody's talking about, Soho Square.
On the tote at the moment, he's showing $3.30, odds of around about 9-4. Certainly the favoured one with most punters. Big is at 7-1, looks a treat too. Telesto is at 12-1, Square the Circle at 12-1, All Our Mob at 6-1. W Bet, not a bad run last start in the Expressway Stakes. She's at 12-1. Burst, Gallant Mare, a Golden Slipper winner, is at 9-1.
Cooper on his way over to the platform now. They steady down. And the line looks good for the Group 2 Apollo Stakes. 2 lengths to Air Seattle and 2.5 to Telesto, now tacking on as they go by the 800. Prince of Praise led the Apollo field about 3/4 to Big Dreams, ahead away Soho Square, then Just Awesome on the inside of Burst as they come to the turn, followed by All Our Mob, W Bet, Diamond Harbour. Kingston Bay giving them a tidy start with Square the Circle, followed by Telesto and Air Seattle. To the turn now, Prince of Praise the leader, over Big Dreams in the centre, Soho Square 3 deep, followed by Burst and then Just Awesome. Diamond Harbour 4 and 5 deep, and All Our Mob and W Bet are carded very wide. Straightening up, Prince of Praise still in front, over Just Awesome, cutting away, followed by Big Dreams. Burst is putting in a dash, Soho Square's gone. Diamond Harbour down the outside. Burst has hit the lead, 100 out over Just Awesome, followed by Soho Square and W Bet, but Burst back to the winner's circle in a big way. Telesto came from last to get second, a heap of them for third, including W Bet, Diamond Harbour, Soho Square close up, and then Kingston Bay, Just Awesome, followed by Air Seattle, Big Dreams, Prince of Praise and All Our Mob, and Square the Circle pulled up with the tail enders. But Burst, a long time out of the winners list, has come back with a vengeance. Number 10, Burst, Larry Olsen, pays $10 and $3.50.
Golden Slipper winner looks back to her best as she wins the Apollo Stakes on her home track. Look at the horse in the pink colours diving through there late. He's a Doncaster candidate. Telesto, he's run second for sure. Number 6 will pay $3.80.
Burst, $10.40 and $3.50. Telesto, $3.80 and W Bet, $3.70. Already, and they're off. Great Waikika Moo Cow followed by Voting, Mr. Mutual, and they're followed by Pride of Rancho looking for a run just behind them. Pull to the outside, Let's Cut Loose, they're in the straighter, and Mahogany moving up on the outside has hit the front with about 400 to go from Kaltar. Battle Hawk down the outside, Pride of Rancho, Royal Rubiton, Mr. Mutual Respect coming down the outside from a long way back, and Voting's got nowhere to go. Mahogany in front, he's now under the whip, he's being tackled by Pride of Rancho with 150 left to go, but he's responding, Mahogany. Mahogany a length to Pride of Rancho, who's trying to get to him. Mahogany ridden for dear life, still in front, he's hanging on. Mahogany's just won from Pride of Rancho. Tight for third march here, or Mr. Mutual Respect, and they were followed by Star of Maple, and further back then.
Do you think you might compare him eventually with Naturalism?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a much better 3-year-old than Naturalism. The time will tell whether he races on as good as the older horse, but there's no reason why he wouldn't.
Mahogany will now be set for the Australian Cup. A decision will then be made on a possible Sydney Cup.
Courage, Bruce. It was his 5th start at Group 1 level and his 5th win. Yesterday, well, they all took him on. They made it so tough for him, and he came good at the finish, winning narrowly but courageously. I loved his win yesterday.
And Mahogany, Max in Sydney, what did you think of Mahogany's win at Flemington?
Oh, isn't he good, Keith? I loved his courage. I thought it was just a win. I'm surprised at Greg Hall complaining that other jockeys took him on. That's what happens when you're riding a hot favourite, when you're riding an outstanding racehorse.
All to rev up here. Yeah, Durbridge is flying, but they're pretty weak at the moment.
Well, they were, and he's the fit weight for age performer on the scene, but gosh, Bruce, he totally demoralised this field. He's a 6-year-old stallion, and yesterday it was one of his easiest wins, if not the easiest.
Sitting outside Seaosn. Max, this was about as strong as those weight for age races you have up in Sydney early spring, wasn't it?
Yes, if Durbridge was mine, he'd be on his way to Sydney now, because I think he can win some of the upcoming weight for age races at Rose Hill. But Durbridge came home much faster than Mahogany on the section, I noticed. Ran the same time. This is a very good win. And again, you know, I'm not bagging Mahogany. I'm certainly not a Mahogany bagger, but you're making too many excuses for what, in my opinion, was an average run. And I think that Durbridge highlighted that factor.
The Lightning Stakes heralded the arrival of the outstanding sprinter Scalacci. Since then, the speedster has gone on to win a career total of 7 Group 1 victories, a great achievement. In this season's Lightning Stakes, The Lee Freedman trained 5-year-old was attempting to win the first leg of the Sprinters Triple Crown for an unprecedented third time.
Further back, Scalacci ridden off the pace, followed by Ali Shannon, 2 lengths to Never Under Charge. They've passed the 500, and Classic Magic joined on the rail by Ken Vane and headed by him now at the 400. Wider out, Keltreese and Daring Ombre. Scalacci in the clear, Brawny Spirit running wide. At the 300-metre mark, Ken Vane, Classic Magic, Keltreese a line of 3. Scalacci 2 lengths astern, wound up coming after them. Keltreese hit the front from Ken Vane, a length Scalacci. It's Keltreese in front of Nick. Ken Vane is fighting back and so is Scalacci, but Keltreese in front and Keltreese won the Lightning. Keltreese from Scalacci.
Underweight for age conditions.
On the grey flash Scalacci.
Ken Vane close up on the rail.
Keltreese unbeaten first up. Next start in the Oakley Plate. Scalacci probably will tackle the Newmarket.
Sideman, and 9-4 Keltreese, 4-1 Ken Vane, and 7-1 Mukhtar. The 800, Barcara on the inside, leads about a neck in advance here of Mukhtar, followed by Sportsworks, and just in behind them, Black Rouge. Classic Magic, Dapper's Hope behind them, Ken Vane. A length further back is Sublimate. Keltreese has got back in the field as they come up past the 600, a length and a half further back than is Blue Boss, and Selquita is last of all. And Laser Beam is well back as they round the home turn. It's Barcara on the inside, Mukhtar together. A length in advance of Sportsworks. Ken Vane starting to run on very wide as Dapper's Hope as they come into the straighter. And Keltreese is a long way back and under the whip as they straighten up. Barcara on the inside, leading about a half length for Mukhtar challenging. Ken Vane on the outside, running on strongly is the danger, and Sportsworks is further back with Dapper's Hope. Keltreese not in the race. Ken Vane hit the front with 100 metres left to go, and it's all over the Oakley Plate. Sublimate finishing fast, but Ken Vane too good. Ken Vane wins it well by 2 lengths to Sublimate. Close for third, Mukhtar or Blue Boss. Behind them, Dapper's Hope, Laser Beam.
He's the 7th 3-year-old in the past 8 years to win the race.
Barcara on the scene late, but Ken Vane has broken away, and Ken Vane will bolt it in. Ken Vane wins by more than 2 lengths to Sublimate. Photo third between Blue Boss out wide and Mukhtar.
A course record winning performance by Ken Vane in the race he was set for by trainer John Sadler. He made it 3 straight in the St George.
At the 200, and Durbridge is out about 5 lengths in front. From now second is Fra, and Excited Angel's running on well along the inside. But Durbridge well clear of Excited Angel, who's finishing well, and our Pompey. Durbridge wins again. Durbridge is first, wins it by...
Another big win for Durbridge. Next off the Australian Cup, and a clash with stablemate Mahogany.
Yeah, we'll definitely run him in the Australian Cup. He's had a terrific preparation for it now. You can't fault his form, and I think he's the horse for Mahogany to beat now. He's run very good times in both his last 2 wins, and he's doing it effortlessly.
Durbridge started 10-9 on. Evans was bet. Fra and Runyon were...
The rain stopped, and this is what happened. There's not one horse in Durbridge's wake who could beat him in the Australian Cup, and maybe there's only one horse standing in his way anyway, and that's the younger stablemate Mahogany.
What do you make of Fra's run, Keith?
I can never catch Fra, and he was the one that had to put the pressure on Durbridge, and I think that he was the first to crack, and he was disappointed.
Galloper, the Phantom, produced a strong performance to win the Cambridge Stud International, his second Group 1 victory of the season.
Prince there for the leader now from Kugel. Lying third, Ballpark Village down to the Phantom Surfers Paradise. Lagiro Newbury Star taking off Mr. Brooker, followed by Young Pirate All or Nothing, and back on the inside Gay Treese. Rounding the corner on the Cambridge Stud International, and Prince there for the leader now from Kugel. Here's the Phantom, the favourites, dying to pounce, and he raced to them quickly. On the inside, coming after these, Lagiro Village Dancer, Surfers Paradise is wide, All or Nothing, and Mr. Brooker, but the Phantom's kick clear now. Inside the 200, I'd say it's all over. The Phantom out by 3 lengths. Lagiro, Surfers Paradise, a late run, Gate Trees, All or Nothing, and Ballpark. But what a champ he is. The Phantom has absolutely annihilated the field. Second home, Lagiro, and I think Gate Trees might have
The
got
comfortable win by the Phantom, a talented but injury-plagued horse, put the 8-year-old on course for a tilt at the Australian Cup at Flemington. However, once again, an injury prevented him from making the trip.
Winner of last Saturday's Hobartville. Winner won the race last year. Now, there's one rearing out in the middle. Off and running in the Chipping Norton. Telesto again missed the start, but not all that badly. Missed it by about a length, and Clearly Chosen is the first out, and he's going wide around there, and then shelved out 4 deep now, Corndale, and last Telesto. 600 out as they near the turn. Clearly Chosen the leader. Western Red in second place, followed by Kingston Bay and Burst together, and then Seaskay, and behind those Corndale, who's off the track, followed by Shelved, then Chasendo, Telesto getting a run up on the fence, and Skillful Star last as they turn. Into the straight in the Chipping Norton, and Clearly Chosen
Chosen giving a ton of cheek as well clear. Burst is the first to go after him, followed by Kingston Bay. And now Telesto, hooked to the outside, is starting to wind up. Clearly Chosen about to be tackled by Burst. And look at Telesto. Telesto coming down the outside at 100 miles an hour. He finally wins another one. Telesto. Telesto beat Clearly Chosen. Burst in a photo for Shelled. Then Chasendo. Telesto getting a run up on the fence, and Skillful Star last as they turn. Into the straight in the chipping. Norton and Clearly Chosen giving a ton of cheek as well clear. Burst is the first to go after him, followed by Kingston Bay. And now Telesto, hooked to the outside, is starting to wind up. Clearly Chosen about to be tackled by Burst. And look at Telesto. Telesto coming down the outside at 100 miles an hour. He finally wins another one. Telesto. Telesto beat Clearly Chosen. Burst in a photo for third with Seaosn wide out and Kingston Bay.
And was able to utilise Telesto's big finish down the outside. A very impressive performance. Telesto has now won 2 races, but he's a horse that can win a Doncaster if he gets the breaks. But he drops out, he's got to get the breaks. He hasn't...
Interesting because the race yesterday, well done.
Max, if you own Telesto, would you put Shane Dye on him in the Doncaster?
No.
Mick Dittman bypassed the meeting at Canterbury to ride primacy in the Futurity Stakes at Caulfield. Favourite for the race was Scalacci, and the 5-year-old set a scorching pace over the 1,400-metre journey.
Coming down the side, and Scalacci's made all the action out in front. Led a neck to Black Rouge, Primacy on the rail, and Alderson the outside. There's been no change. Scalacci about a head in front now from on the outside, Black Rouge. Alderson hooks out for a crack at them. He's coming 3 wide with his run, and Primacy just held up behind the leader. Scalacci tackled by Alderson on the outside. A gap now for Primacy. Scalacci in front of Alderson, and Primacy takes the run. Primacy hit the front at the 200 now. From Scalacci, Alderson's run has ended, and Deposition with a late effort, but Primacy has broken away from Deposition and Scalacci, and Primacy is going to win it brilliantly. Deposition has flashed.
Primacy's Futurity Stakes win was the 4-year-old
run from Primacy, shaving 0.2 of a second off Vo Rogue's 1988 race record, and now from 9 wins, the gelding tops $1 million.
Performance. And so we come to the first of the season's feature 2-year-old races, the Blue Diamond Stakes. From the lead-up races, it was clear that the colts Hurricane Sky and Mr Vitality were the main contenders in this $500,000 race. Having paid a late entry fee of $25.
Just Dance On, 1.5 to Hurricane Sky, and then Mr Vitality, who's hard-ridden. Races Edge next, getting up on the inside from Renacci, and then Excella, and Mellow Chateau is last at the turn. And the filly Novojinsky led Just Dance On, and Pluska hooked to the outside. Mr Vitality under extreme pressure, but running on, and then Hurricane Sky and Races Edge, but Novojinsky led for home from Just Dance On. Wide out Mr Vitality and Hurricane Sky are coming. Hurricane Sky crowded for room. Races Edge looking for a run. Now Hurricane Sky answers and grabs the lead. Mr Vitality going with him. Excella with a late run. It's Hurricane Sky and Mr Vitality. Hurricane Sky and Nick in front, and Hurricane Sky will win it. Hurricane Sky from Mr Vitality by half a length. Photo third between Renacci and Excella.
Martin. Ryan trained 2-year-old recording the fastest time of 1:08.1 to better the previous record in the prestigious race held since 1988 by the great sprinter Zetitave. Vitality and third Renacci at 9.
He'll long remember. He prepared St Covert for victory in the Black Opal Stakes in Canberra, picking up a $100,000 BMW and brought up his 1,000th winner. The only thing missing was the Blue Diamond at Caulfield, won in brilliant fashion by Hurricane Sky.
David Hayes might have been at Caulfield today, but for some of the day at least, his mind was elsewhere. He enjoyed early success at Balaclava to watch the Black Opal Stakes in Canberra, where brilliant colt St Covert was aiming for the $133,000 first prize, golden slipper favouritism and the keys to a brand new $100,000 BMW.
As they race down the side, and St Covert has raced to the lead.
And it didn't take long for the look of anguish to turn to delight.
But St Covert has kicked away at the 200-metre mark. Look at St Covert go. He's out about 3 or 4 in front of Identicat, followed by Rose's Path running on. But St Covert races away, and this is a very, very impressive win. He's down on the line. St Covert romps the Black Opal in. Now Rose's Path is stable.
How was that? Good. It was really fantastic. He won a lot easier than I would hope. But I think he should be slipper favourite, and I've got to get the car off my brother now.
And just a map.
His win in the Australian Guineas, Mahogany was attempting to become the first 3-year-old since Dulcify to complete the Victoria Derby Australian Cup double. Mahogany started favourite ahead of stablemate Durbridge, whose hat-trick of wins leading into the Cup showed that he was also in great form.
They've got 650 to go in the Australian Cup, and Captain Cook for Neville Wilson will turn into the straight by a length. Marshall comes away from the rail on Durbridge now. Then Fra and Pride of Rancho. Our Pompey ridden along on the inside. Mahogany next following Pride of Rancho into the straight. Now hooks out as they came towards the 400. Captain Cook by a length and a half to Durbridge. 2 or 3 lengths further back in the field is Fra. Mahogany's given full ball down the outside from Pride of Rancho. 250 out though, and Durbridge went for home. He raced away. Durbridge raced a couple of lengths in front of Captain Cook. Mahogany is under the whip, but Durbridge with a mighty lead. He's out 3 lengths. He's got it 1. He's holding them safely at bay. And Durbridge, a great winner. Durbridge wins it by 2 lengths. Station Hand got up for second. Mahogany a neck away third.
One of racing's
400, putting in his run in the centre. Durbridge hit the front of the 300-metre mark, 3 lengths in front. Now on the outside, Mahogany is after him, but Durbridge went for home. 3 lengths in front of the 150. Mahogany won't get him, and it's little Durbridge's Australian Cup. Station Hand running on late, but Durbridge a mile 2 good wins, 2 lengths.
It was billed as the great showdown between Lee Freedman's big guns, but Durbridge was too good on the day for Mahogany and took the money. A tremendous victory for 4-1, second Station Hand at 10s, and third the favourite Mahogany at even.
Freedman won. And Mahogany's performance in third placing.
It's a lot to cover there, Bruce, but Durbridge is the weight for age star of Australia at the moment. He's got the ingredients. He can take a box seat and he can settle when he's asked to. He's unbeatable at the moment at weight for age. Mahogany, to my mind, disappointing. There was a school of thought at the moment, do we?
No, but we've got to concede that Durbridge is going very well at present. Like Keith, I thought Mahogany was disappointing. Certainly the in the last 20 yards. I just wonder, well, I've always wondered whether Mahogany is as good a stayer as he is a sprinter.
No, it's a playback. No, it's a playback. He's second. And they have, and the other thing, it's pretty hard for a 3-year-old to win. Dulcify was the last one to win in 1979. So for Mahogany to have won yesterday, he would have had to be an extra special. Let's go. Yes. The Winfield Classic.
It was this combination who teamed up for their second Group 1 success of the season in the Winfield Classic.
Into the straight, Asian Incline the leader. In second place, Mingling Glances. Rich Pageantry has been 3 deep for most of the trip. Burst is about to get an inside run as those leaders shift out, followed by Ladies' Way, and then the Perfume Garden taken to the extreme outside. In the straight, coming to the 200, Asian Incline, Mingling Glances. Burst is getting up on the inside of them, Rich Pageantry, and here comes the Perfume Garden with a big run down the outside. Flitter's there, and so is Capchat. Have a look at this. You've never seen a race like it. Where do you look? It's Flitter, Capchat on the outside, Mahanui Lass coming from nowhere. Capchat on the extreme outside wins the Winfield. The breath to Mahanui Lass.
Unplaced just once.
And pick this for us.
Tristalove made the rest of the field look second-rate in winning this afternoon's Cooney Stakes at Flemington. We pick up Brian Martin's call with the 3-year-old about to canter past the leaders.
Tristalove is ranging up very quickly on the outside, 350 out. He hasn't let this go, Marshall. Tristalove gets up to Tristera. They sprint away from Party Time. Then a gap to Barman Gilead, well back with Sendile, but now let down by the rider here, Marshall. He lets it go, Tristalove. 4 in front now of Tristera, Alcove, and then from a long way back, Swift Falcon. But this is all over, and Tristalove is a brilliant filly. Races away to win it about 4 or 5 lengths.
Yes, jockey Simon Marshall enjoying one of the easiest wins of his career. Tristalove cruising to a 3 3/4 length win.
Love stands up well. They're off now to a perfect dispatch to in the Alistair Clark, and down on the inside Bonamici past the 800 metre to go, and Battle Hawk about to be tackled by Tristalove, who's come into the picture with a strong runner. Sari Club is also there on the outside, followed by Pride of Rancho, and back behind them then came Barman Gilead. Tristalove has taken the lead, rounding the home turn a half length to Sari Club as they're about to straighten over. Battle Hawk under the whip next, followed by Barman Gilead, and back behind them Pride of Rancho. But Tristalove has set sail for home. She's out full of running, the bonny little filly. Tristalove's 3 lengths ahead of Sari Club, halfway down the straight, and the Alistair Clark's all over. Tristalove will bolt in under double wraps, goes on to score by 2 lengths to Sari Club. Galaxy Fair ran third. Striking Twig has come from last to run fourth.
The Clark's been won by some great horses in the past. I'm not saying Tristalove's quite in the class of a Beau Rogue or a couple of the other more recent ones, Naturalism and maybe Durbridge, but boy, she's good, Keith.
Well, you should certainly at least put her in the top echelon of our fillies, Bruce, and maybe you'd have to argue there's the latter. The news of the morning was that she would go to Adelaide. She'd win the Australasian Oaks in a cakewalk as she's doing here. But I think Bart wants to go to Sydney and take on the stars in the AJC Oaks and really...
To be coming wide. Set.
Off and running in the rider, good starts, and Telesto, as usual, straight out the back. Skating began brilliantly and bounced out in front of the heavyweight, followed by Sir Bernard. Al Akbar coming over from a wide alley. Just behind those, Jabal and Pharaoh. A long way back, Golden Sword, followed by Mr. Door and Kingston Bay. Now, we know Telesto likes to relax a bit in the early stages, but he's really gone to sleep today, and he must have been 8 or 10 lengths away last when they settled down. On the first turn, travelling a bit deep, followed by Burst, Kingston Bay. Then Mr. Door, followed by Pharaoh and Golden Sword. And Telesto is now tacking on at the tail of the field as they come around the turn. Sir Bernard and the heavyweight of the joint leaders into the straight over. Big Dreams, Al Akbar about to go up and join them. And then Alderson followed and join them. And then Alderson followed by Skating, and further back Burst and Soho Square. And Telesto sticking near the fence as they turn for home. Into the straight, and Al Akbar is coming at Sir Bernard. Big Dreams between them, followed by Burst and Skating, and Telesto is now looking for a split between horses at the 150 mark. Big Dreams and Al Akbar are fighting it out. Telesto is still there. Down the outside is Golden Sword now. It's Telesto grabbing the lead in the shadows of the post from Golden Sword, and Telesto gives die.
The Rosehill Guineas was shaken.
Followed by Skating, and further back Burst and Soho Square, and Telesto sticking near the fence as they turn for home. Into the straight, and Al Akbar is coming at Sir Bernard. Big Dreams between them, followed by Burst and Skating, and Telesto is now looking for a split between horses at the 150 mark. Big Dreams and Al Akbar are fighting it out. Telesto is still there. Down the outside is Golden Sword now. It's Telesto grabbing the lead in the shadows of the post from Golden Sword, and Telesto gives die. The big double over Golden Sword. Big Dreams in a photo for third with Pharaoh and Al Akbar, followed by Soho Square, Mr. Door, Deposition. And
I think it's Telesto coming from tailed off to win, and Keith Hillier is an exciting horse. He's doing something for racing at the moment.
Yes, he is, and Shane Dye labelled Telesto a better racehorse than Superimpose. How quick we forget. But I suppose there's some merit to that claim, and the way he's racing is not unlike Super with those barnstorming finishes, Bruce.
And Max...
Yes, I've got to give him 10 out of 10. Certainly his win on Telesto was memorable. His win was the fun to get a run through, going very close to the fence, into no man's land. But Dye switches out. Watch this closely as he switches out, because there is a traffic jam and he's in trouble. Oh, go! But now down the outside, but rapidly picking him up, Golden Sword, but he's just got that little bit too much dash. Golden Sword not fit enough on the day, a very good run, certainly not as spectacular as Telesto. I think Telesto handled the ground better. I think Telesto was fitter. Return bout in the Doncaster. I know Telesto meets Golden Sword 4 kilos better, but I wonder whether it's just enough. But I do hope...
Yeah, the big one, the Doncaster.
They quinelled the Epsom, didn't they? But, gee, 5.5 kilos.
I wonder if St. Covert could be messed up by a speed horse by Lord Jim. Mr. Vitality, by the way, will trial tomorrow, and Max marks him up. Before we go to Melbourne, a quick tip for... OK, let's go to Moonee Valley.
Off and running, and Tricky Alibi missed the start badly, and as a clear goal, Fraternity 4 chased Darbass and Tricky Alibi into the straight. Western Red allowed to come about 4 horses off the fences, about to be tackled by Mahogany. Hall's got to get busy, although he is peeping over the left shoulder. Tenner's running on strongly with Sable Dreamer, but Mahogany goes right on by and dashes to the lead past the 200 over Western Red, followed by Tenner and Sable Dreamer, but home goes Mahogany. Mahogany putting a gap in them in the last bit, is racing away, and he's going to win the Tulloch Stakes in a breeze. Mahogany by 3 lengths. Looks like Tenner second, third's close, Sable Dreamer wide out, or Western Red. Well, Ken, that's the real Mahogany we saw today.
Yes, John, he stood up to be counted today. He's got a pretty good motor when he's on the job.
Particularly if they run it at a dawdling pace. I've always had my doubts about him as a stayer. His quality, never. And this is Mahogany quality.
Could I ask you a hypothetical question? Do you think he could win the Doncaster as a 3-year-old? I'm thinking about Poetic King. Could he win the Doncaster, Mahogany?
Yes, he could win anything.
Because he's a miler, don't you think? A mile and a quarter horse?
Well, that would be my preferred distance, but of course there is a little...
Australia's premier 2-year-old race, trainer David Hayes saddled up 4 runners in this season's $2 million Tooheys Golden Slipper. His runners included the favourite St. Covert and the Blue Diamond runner-up Mr. Vitality, who came into the race only after Connections paid a late entry fee of $100,000. The Lee Freedman-trained Dan Zero had bypassed the Blue Diamond to concentrate on the Slipper, and it was this colt...
Sits 7-2, Lord Jim is at 10-1, out to 11-1 now. Mr. Vitality still at 8s, about 7.5 really, but $8.80. Dr. Zachary is at 14-1, Dan Zero at 5-1. He's held his place.
It's the big race of the day, my race. I've won 4 out of the last 5, and I'm sure I can make it 5 out of the last 6 today here on St. Covert. It's very important to draw a good barrier in the Golden Slipper because you can't afford to track, and I think he can win. Watch out for a horse called Dan Zero. He'll be finishing on very, very strongly with Greg Hall on, and he's the danger.
Off in the slipper. Rose's Path on the outside is one of the first out. Quickly into stride. Races Edson. Covered is away brilliantly, and so is Lord Jim. Stonebrook Meadow showing surprising pace in the early part. Dr. Zachary Hurry. Then is Zanaletti as they come down to the home turn. Mr. Vitality midfield under pressure. Moment's Pleasure out very deep, and then Charlie Bubbles. Powiak is a mile back, followed by Restive, and then Stonebrook Meadow and Tayara. Into the straight, Lord Jim the leader, St Covered on the outside is going after him. 2 lengths away, Racer's Edge, followed by Hurricane Sky, and Dan Zero pulled right out to the middle of the track, is starting to warm up now at the 200. Lord Jim headed by St Covered, but here comes Dan Zero. Dan Zero down the outside is about to swamp these leaders. Dan Zero coming at St Covered. St Covered is kicking again. It's St Covered and Dan Zero. They hit the line, heads up, heads down. I reckon Dan Zero a breath to St Covered in a head bobber. Now third probably Zero coming at St Covered. St Covered is kicking again. It's St Covered and Dan Zero. They hit the line, heads up, heads down. I reckon Dan Zero a breath to St Covered in a head bobber. Now third probably Racer's Edge in front of Mr Vitality, and Hurricane Sky is right up there with them, followed by Restive, Moment's Pleasure. Oh, Ken, what a thriller. It's a head bobber, but I reckon Greg Hall has snared his first slipper.
No doubt about it, John. Dan Zero on the outside, and
combination, you and Greg Hall.
We're invincible. When we're right, we're invincible. I mean, he just rode an inspired race there and just lifted the horse over the line the last bit. Fantastic effort.
The third horse gets the race, Racer's Edge. If the protest, second against first. And if we'd have seen just near the end of that replay, Greg Hall actually hits St Covered with his whip. And Shane Dye, we're going to watch this again, winner. Now remember...
As it turned out.
Oh, was it ever, Bruce? The $2 million Demolition Derby, the little ass of racing. It was sensational yesterday, one of the most exciting that I've seen. And in the end, 2 top jockeys are out now, Damien Oliver and Stephen King, and a third, Shane Dye, for an unrelated incident. And they're the 3 riders of the 3...
I'd like to preface that by saying the Golden Slipper was a bloody disgrace. It was riddled with interference. It's a slur on racing. They've got to clean it up. Somebody's going to get hurt.
How do they clean it up? As John Trek said during the week, I'm not going to bother to tell the jockeys that about interference. I'd be wasting my time. Didn't he say to them, go out and put it on a good show?
Well, that they did, but it was a show more befitting, let's say, out of Mongolia. Interference early.
Max, I mean, they're racing.
Here we are. You can see Greg Hall on the outside and Shane Dye. Now, Shane Dye and Hall are involved in a bumping duel. Hurricane Sky. Oh, have a look at this. Shane Dye nearly came off after the winning post. Certainly had the fact that it was one of his finest rides. He was cramped. Shane gave his all. It was a pair of brilliant rides.
No, they're moving in Poetic King, an interesting visitor from Melbourne.
Yes, John, might be one of the new Lee Friedman superstars. He's had 7 starts for 6 wins. Here we go. Never Under Charge is 9-4 on the tote. Bookies are a good bit more generous. Diamond Harbour. Poetic King is 6-4 on the tote. I can assure you, you can't get that price here at the moment.
Up in the air now. Semi-Amu it was. Off. Poetic King has jumped fairly well. Square the Circle's a little tardy to begin, and Semi-Amu jumped out in front. Just Awesome spearing straight to the lead. Poetic King's going to settle in the box seat. Followed the leader, Just Awesome, wants to pull. Led by a length to Semi-Amu, and a length and a half Poetic King, about to be joined by Never Under Charge. 2 to North Walk, and then Diamond Harbour, Square the Circle, followed by Ghost Story and Tusk Hunter as last. Inside the 600, now they're speeding up, and Just Awesome got away from Semi-Amu. Poetic King is trailing the leader into the straight. Never Under Charge dropped off a little bit on the turn and is under plenty of pressure now from Simon Marshall, followed well back by North Walk and Square the Circle. In the straight, and Poetic King on the outside. Pop the Question has raced up the tackle. Just Awesome. This maiden performer showing a bit of fight though, but now Poetic King's got him, and Poetic King has dashed away 150 out with the boss looking over the shoulder. He's well clear of Just Awesome, Never Under Charge and North Walk. Doncaster next step, and Poetic King has cantered home in the last over, Never Under Charge. I think Just Awesome will get third. A breath in front of North Walk, and then
Winner, well, he's going absolutely super. He's some racehorse. I'd like to be paying his feed, Bill. He knows how to put them down and pick them up fast. Glenn Boss, by geez, didn't he have a big look back over his shot? Have another look, Glenn. No, they're not there, son. They're not even close to you. This horse will be hard to beat in the Doncaster. Poetic King, 240 and 130. If you backed him on the tote, you did pretty well. Second, Never Under Charge, $1.50. And
Keith, in the last Poetic King, he's now won 7 out of 8. He's gone up 2 notches, I reckon, in one race. I know he won the Moomba Plate like a good horse. He won this like a superstar.
He's a very good horse. This is part of the Flemington Travelling Roadshow. 5 winners at Rosehill yesterday. Flemington trained, and this one of the most impressive, and I think he might be back in the winner's stall next Saturday in the Doncaster. He's lightly weighted. Have a look at the ease of this win. That's a pretty smart horse chasing him too, never undercharged.
Now, you're a big man for sectionals, Max. The sectionals here were pretty impressive.
Brilliant, but we must take into consideration he had a trot and canter to the turn. It was a sit and sprint home. This is a very good racehorse, but certainly he won't be doing it as easy in the Doncaster. He's going to be a worthy contender, but just a little bit of...
The carnival is the Derby, which from this season onwards will be known as the Australian Derby. Champion 3-year-old Mahogany started a warm favourite in this $1 million classic.
The tote even more from 5 to 4 into 10 to 9. He's actually showing $2.10 for a win for $1.
It's Rum Rustic crossing to lead Mahogany, followed by Star of Maple. Now Zaremba pushing between horses. Fraternity on the fence in a good spot. Midfield when they settle down. Arborea, who's climbing and reefing all over the place. Tahara, Andy, Cow, then Sable Dreamer, followed by K Cornet. Popsy out 3 and 4 deep as Flat Chat and Sahara Andy last as they come to the turn. Zaremba's got a very big break on the corner. Zaremba led by 3 to Mahogany, who's getting to him rapidly now. Rum Rustic dropping out of it, followed by Fraternity, and then Star of Maple, Arborea, Sable Dreamer, and Waikikamu Cow is taken to the extreme outside as they come over the rise. Greg Hall looks extra confident on Mahogany. Zaremba's in front as they top the hill. Mahogany is gobbling him up very quickly with Waikikamu Cow and Arborea down the outside, but Mahogany swept to the lead, 100 out. He's got them struggling. Waikikamu Cow in second place, can't do any better, and then Arborea and Fraternity, but Mahogany flat to the boards is holding Waikikamu Cow, and it's the two-state Derby double to Mahogany. Waikikamu Cow second.
Given a perfect ride.
Arborea and Fraternity. Mahogany ridden with great confidence by Greg Hall, who took...
This was just too good, and congratulations on you. Another fine ride, and you are certainly a Group 1 jockey.
Good on you, Shane. You're not bad yourself either, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
I missed my first in 20 years. I want to ask you too why you jumped off Mahogany. You're Mahogany Max, the foundation member of the Mahogany fan club.
Price had something to do with it. Price had something to do with it. Keith, when all you people got onto the bandwagon, I decided I'd get off wrongfully. But nevertheless, a very fine win yesterday, and certainly Mahogany is superior to any other 3-year-old in Australasia. But it'll be interesting.
Towards 14 to 1. Golden Sword, rock solid at towards 14 to 1. Golden Sword, rock solid at 9 to 2. $5.50. He has come in a little, just over 50 to 1. Pharaoh 14 to 1, Burst 40, Kabora back out to 14 to 1, Excited Angel almost 30 to 1, Al Akbar 7.5 to 1, 8 Telesto 13 to 2. We can almost make that 7 to 1, about $7.90 now for $1. Ruslan at 100 to 1, Poetic King $3.80, solid favourite at 11.
Telesto, he looks lovely, but he's got the job ahead of him, Ken. You know, horses aren't making up ground at all.
Kingston Bay, the inside runner. Off in the Doncaster, Telesto straight out the back, and back with him is Kabora. Primacy bounced out in front at the start. Telesto in the Mahanui Lass and a length away last. Telesto, who's now tacking on as they come to the 700. Telesto, who's now tacking on as they come to the 700 mark, nearing the turn, and Dopf is the leader over Primacy. Al Akbar third, Poetic King is fourth, followed by Ruslan, and then Quadrado out very deep square the circle, followed by Kingston Bay going well but has nowhere to go at the moment, and then Mr. Door, Pharaoh, Excited Angel, widest of all on the turn into the straight. Golden Sword is waiting for the cutaway, and tagging him through now is Telesto as they come over the rise, where Poetic King dashed to the lead. Poetic King has burst to the lead from Never Under Charge. Excited Angel down the outside, and then Ruslan and Al Akbar and Telesto right behind those leaders. Poetic King tackled by Kingston Bay, Excited Angel, and look at Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming down the outside, might tip them all out. Kingston Bay, Pharaoh, Telesto getting up on the inside of them all. Close Telesto or Pharaoh. I think they've just beat. Poetic King has burst to the lead from Never Under Charge. Excited Angel down the outside, and then Ruslan and Al Akbar and Telesto right behind those leaders. Poetic King tackled by Kingston Bay, Excited Angel, and look at Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming down the outside, might tip them all out. Kingston Bay, Pharaoh, Telesto getting up on the inside of them all. Close Telesto or Pharaoh. I think they've just beaten Kingston Bay in the centre. It's a Never Under Charge. nostalgic side. Just beaten Kingston Bay in the centre. It's a desperately close one. Poetic King is close up, followed by Golden Sword, and then Never Under Chance. Not sell Kingston Bay too short either. I just had the feeling that he in the middle. Oh, Ruth, I'd blow to find. My God, he's not beaten yet either, Kingston Bay. Oh, you've never seen a finish like this in your life. What do you think, Ken?
Very, very close, John. Watching it with the naked eye. With the naked eye, I thought it may have been Telesto. They hit the post. I was going to say Pharaoh was out of it, but he seems to have got a good stride in here, right on the line. Oh, boy. I'm sticking with Telesto, but the horses on the outside are often favoured at Randwick.
What do you think? Print. Yep, second developed print has been called for by the judge. Now, that is unprecedented. A second developed print over time. Nobody knows. 9 got it. Pharaoh. Number 9, Pharaoh, on the outside, has won the Doncaster. Ridden by Gavin Eads. Trained by Gay Waterhouse. Number 6, Kingston Bay in the centre, second. And Telesto third, but the margins are going to be...
Randwick, one of the very best. A finish that will be unforgettable. It was a bit like Imogil Grand Cityman Like a Lover, going back a lot of years in a famous race in the Derby. As always, Max, you've seen a lot of Don compare.
Oh, undoubtedly one of the best. No, the best. I don't think there's ever been such a thrilling day's racing, and certainly the emotion of the occasion was outstanding. There's perhaps...
This, Max, drive to the line.
Yes, we must point out, though, Bruce, that the unlucky runner of the race was undoubtedly Golden Sword. The Doncaster is one of those sort of races you probably win it 10 times, you get different results, but I would say 6 out of the 10 times Golden Sword would have won. Struck more trouble than any other runner and a mighty racehorse.
Yes, yes. The AJC's Carnival featured the return clash of Dan Zero and St Covert in the Seaosn Produce Stakes over 1,400 metres.
Dan Zero starting to work into it now, still giving the leaders about 7 lengths, and well back Blevik and Last Spy as they turn for home. St Covert is first over the rise from Dapper Magic on the outside. Jack Saw Better on the fence, immediately under pressure, and then Dr. Zachary followed by Restivan. Dan Zero is now putting in a long run. He wants to lay in a bit. St Covert has burst well clear at the 200 mark. Dan Zero's running into second place. He's taking an age to get out after St Covert. He looks pretty weary, Dan Zero. St Covert is clear inside the 100. Dan Zero's struggling. He can't do any better, and St Covert's going to win the Sires. Good on you, Wayne Harris. St Covert beat Dan Zero. Blevik has come from last again.
Ridden by...
But beat Dan Zero.
Jimmy Cassidy was got injured Saturday, and Shane Dyer was suspended and couldn't take the ride for Jimmy to get on, and then Shane Scriven was booked and couldn't make the weight. Fairy tales do happen.
Wayne Harris. Favouritism in the AJCX. However, with track conditions favouring horses racing near the lead, both fillies found it difficult to get into the race.
Over Alcove and Cedo Flowerian, then Sparkling Special. Constant Flight 3 and 4 deep on the turn, followed by Tiggy Touchwood, and then Booked, followed by Popsy, and Arboria's in front of only a couple as they come over the rises. Now pulled to the extreme outside. She'll have to do something sensational. The leader, Thrilling Day, headed now by Alcove. Alcove takes the lead at the 200 mark. They're clear of Cedo Flowerian, followed by Constant Flight, and Arboria not doing enough, but Alcove shot clear. She's got the Oaks well and truly won. She's coming right away in the last bit, and Alcove bolted in. Cedo Flowerian second. Booked might get Cove bolted in.
Filly around, Max.
Now, Romany Conti in the number 1 gate stands up well, and they pull a bit now. Durbridge is being rated beautifully in front by Simon Marshall as they go onto the top turn, led by a little more than 2, followed by It's All in Fun and Marrakesh and Kingston Bay last, but Simon Marshall says catch me if you can. Durbridge about 4 in front, make that 5 now. Durbridge is well clear on the turn over Soho Square, followed by Fra and then Pharaoh, and further back Romany Conti. Kingston Bay is last as they turn for home, but Durbridge is a mile in front coming over the rise. Led by 4 lengths to Soho Square, Pharaoh running on, and then Romany Conti, and It's All in Fun. Durbridge is drifting out past the centre of the track, but he's well clear. Romany Conti close to the inside is running home gamely. Durbridge with a B in his bonnet is getting right off the track, but he's holding them all at bay, Durbridge. He's done a few things wrong, but he bolts away with the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Durbridge first, Romany Conti second, Marrakesh...
Turning the race into...
Durbridge in Melbourne, Ken, isn't he?
Oh, John, but he goes all right here. He's clearly the best 2,000-metre horse in the country, and isn't it great to see a jockey with the confidence to set his own speed, not be frightened to hold him, or be too frightened that he can't hold the horse back to the others that he's...
16 wins now for Durbridge. That was his 55th start yesterday, and he now has rejoined Mahogany for the contest for Horse of the Year. Which way would you vote at this stage?
Oh, No, I'll think about that. Perhaps Mahogany, but when you look at Durbridge's mile and a quarter form, his consistency, it's pretty hard to fault.
The Bart Cummings-trained Tristalove bypassed the AJC Oaks in favour of the Australasian Oaks at Morfordville in South Australia. Tristalove started a warm favourite.
But Tristalove, given a lynch of rain, has slipped to the lead. Pindy's coming out of the pack running on, and there too was Our Mess. They've got away from Pre-Packer's Dream. Pindy's a bit of a threat. Tristalove the leader. Pindy's running a big race. Our Mess further back to Futile. He's had to go for Tristalove. Pindy's run a very cheeky race. Tristalove will hang on. It's going to get the money, I'm sure, but what a run by the bolter, Pindy. It's Tristalove winning the Schweppes Group 1 Australasian Oaks. A length and 3/4, Pindy, a huge...
Tristalove's easy win gave Bart Cummings his 5th success in the Australasian Oaks.
Look at the Kitchens Cup and see what you think about Bint Masqué and Bucks Pride, who's a mighty horse at Doomben.
4 abreast at the first corner, Cape Stad, Bint Masqué, Bucks Pride, Archie Keelia, Eads 4th, All Our Mob is 5th and Big Dream 6th on the inside. Then Music Switch and Sublimate, followed by Silver Neon, Baggio and Burst Unequal. Deposition a long way back with Slight Chance, followed by Diamond Harbour and last is Grand Trick. 600 out, Bint Masqué, the leader, a half Cape Stad on the inside. Bucks Pride 3rd, Archie Keelia 4th but deep, and then Big Dreams on the inside of All Our Mob. 2 away, Baggio, followed by Silver Neon, Music Switch and Burst and Sublimate and Diamond Harbour a long way back. Into the straight, Bint Masqué just in front of Cape Stad. Bucks Pride on the outside and Archie Keelia, All Our Mob running home well, followed by Big Dreams. Past the 200, the filly, Bint Masqué, she fought on, she got away. A neck, Bucks Pride trying to go with her. All Our Mob finishing well. Bint Masqué and Bucks Pride, All Our Mob on the outside. Bucks Pride's got the Bint Masqué, her conditions given out, Bucks Pride. Bucks Pride has beaten Bint Masqué and All Our Mob, but a great run first up, the filly. Then came Baggio, followed by Big Dreams.
Well, 2 great horses fighting out the finish there. Bucks Pride, race fitness told in the end, but Bint Masqué's back. Max is right. If
This is Bucks Pride up at Doomben.
Masqué, that was Bint Masqué's best performance. Everything was against her, the condition, the seasoning of Bucks Pride, yet she fought back magnificently. I just wonder, though, how she'll come through a tough run like that. That's the query with her.
Next was the running of the Queensland Guineas, where top Sydney horses Waikika, Mukau and Arborea were among those looking for the winter riches.
The race led Grey Flute, Double Angle, followed by Paris Lane, Our Fiction. Pearl Prince to the outside, Mr. Door trying to get a move on in the middle, and Waikika Mukau's coming down the extreme outside. Paris Lane darted to the front at the 200. Our Fiction moving into second, and here comes Waikika Mukau. Paris Lane, the leader, with 100 metres to go from Our Fiction and Waikika Mukau. Paris Lane in front with 50 metres left to go. It's another one to the Freedman camp. Paris Lane.
Did you recognise the colours? The colours carried to victory in a Melbourne Cup some years ago by Gurner's Lane. Paris Lane is no Gurner's Lane, but he's pretty handy. Started at 12 to 1 today.
Including the big race, the Doomben 10,000, the Queensland TAB prices. Big Dreams at 20s, Deposition 40, Tiny's Finito, the crowd favourite at 6.5 to 1, Bucks Pride favourite on the tote, 4.5 to 1, Shane Scriven the jockey, 8 All Our Mob, 7.5 to 1, Mick Dittman's Mount Capstead, 16 Carolingian, 12 Flitter, Jimmy Cassidy, 30 Slight Chance the horse, but 50 to 1, gee, 8 to 1 Bint Masqué, I'd like to be getting some of that, gee, she'll be hard to beat.
For a start in the 1994 Doomben 10,000, they're about to break. 2 down, Baggio is gone, and so is Silver Neon, a sensation. Down the side, 600 to go, and Bella Snap on the inside is just the leader. From Bint Masqué, All Our Mob, Sprightly Jet, Archie Keelia, then Dapple up on there, followed by Bucks Pride, Morden, Cape Stad on the rail, then Flitter, Slight Chance making ground, and Tiny's Finito a long way back as they turn the corner into the straight. Bella Snap, the leader, joined by Bint Masqué, All Our Mob on the outside, then Archie Keelia, Morden, and Flitter running home well from Bucks Pride. Bint Masqué in front past the 200. All Our Mob trying to get to it from Archie Keelia and Flitter. All Our Mob and Bint Masqué together at 100 to go. All Our Mob and Bint Masqué. Flitter is flying on the outside. They hit it. Flitter, I think maybe Flitter on the line has got up to beat All Our Mob and Bint Masqué. Third home.
Sprightly Jet just behind them, Morden to the outside, Bucks Pride and Cape Stad next, followed by Flitter, All Our Mob and Bint Masqué there together. Bint Masqué is just in front of All Our Mob. They look as though they're going to fight it out. Here comes Flitter up to 3rd place. All Our Mob and Bint Masqué, they're stride for stride. All Our Mob is just in front. Flitter's flying the last little bit. They hit it. Flitter's got up to win it.
Okay, now Flitter dives, and as they hit the post, Oh boy, it looks like Flitter's arrived in time. We'll have to wait on the...
And Flitter got it on the outside, the fast finishing number 8, Flitter, 8, 5 and 17. The numbers Flitter 10, 40 and 3.55. All Our Mob 3.45 and Bint Musquet $3.
But as expected, he improved out of sight on a good track in the Hollandale Cup.
Durbridge in front with 200 to go. The 3-year-old Paris Lane is coming out after Durbridge. Durbridge in front. Paris Lane trying hard to pick him up. He's not going to get him. Look at Durbridge. He's home today. He's back to his best, and Durbridge beat Paris Lane.
There's plenty more wins in store for Durbridge.
Ian, and we're going to show it to you live. The Group 1 Doomben Cup. Rough Habit has won it the last 3 years, but alas, he's retired. He's not running. He's got a 1. Let's go up the top. Number 1 Durbridge is a clear-cut favourite. He is at 5-4. Subby the rider at 8-1. Marrakesh, David Hay, stable in Adelaide. Chris Muntz, the jockey, 7.5 to 1, 15-2. Is at 16-1. Paris Lane, 11-2. He's a stablemate of Durbridge and is second favourite. 40.
Doomben Cup. And they're racing. Native Boy was slow to move at the start, and Durbridge began quickly from an outside gate. In the middle, Beowulf and Castle Ben were well away. Marrakesh and Paris Lane are showing speed too. Now down the straight the first time. Silk Ali kicking up on the inside, the leader. From Castle Bend and Durbridge and Paris Lane racing between horses and Beowulf. Of all, around the aerodrome side, 800 out in Durbridge is the pacemaker. A length over Paris Lane. Castle Bend is third and Marrakesh is fourth, 1 off the fence. A length and a half to Pure Lust on the outside of Silk Ali, then Thrifty Reserve. Sub-Zero going up on the outside, followed by Beowulf. A long way back is Osmard. So is What a Poet, followed by Native Boy and Salcante. On the bend they come, 400 out. Durbridge is the leader. Paris Lane's gone to second, Marrakesh third, then Castle Bend. And further back is Pure Lust and Thrifty Reserve as they turn the corner. Durbridge the leader, 300 to go. The old stager in front. The precocious 3-year-old Paris Lane looming up, and they collided inside the 200. Durbridge and Paris Lane there together. Marrakesh on the inside. Durbridge and Paris Lane. Durbridge is coming away from Paris Lane. Durbridge in front. He's too good. And Durbridge beat Paris Lane tight for third between Pure Lust and Thrifty Reserve. Close up Marrakesh, then Osmard. What a Poet, Castle Bend. Further back on the field, Sub-Zero, Silk Ali.
Paris Lane throwing down the gauntlet on the outside. Durbridge is shifting his ground. He's rolling out. He's joined now by Paris Lane. Durbridge and Paris Lane. They lock together. They just brush there. Marrakesh is up to third, then Pure Lust. Durbridge is kicking on. He's just in front of Paris Lane. Durbridge a neck in front. He's starting to edge away from Paris Lane again in the run to the line, and Durbridge has won the cup. Durbridge first, Paris Lane second, Pure Lust in a photo for third.
And the stable Quinella there, Durbridge beating Paris Lane. The steward sorting out that Durbridge should retain the race, and he got out to 11-4. A great price, returning...
Drama there with the chief stipendiary steward, Ray Murray, telling Simon Marshall that he would never go closer to losing a major race after the win of Durbridge.
Isn't it? He's won 7 out of 10 this time in Durbridge. He's gone up a notch, hasn't he? From a really good horse to a near champion.
Oh, sure, Bruce. He went past $3 million yesterday. Lee Friedman became the first Australian trainer to win 10 or more Group 1 races in a season for the third successive year.
Was outside the leader, a horse to Remus. He'd had 3 runs in New Zealand, all over 2100. Very strange preparation. The boom on him was enormous, Wayne, before the race, and he didn't let anyone down.
Even before the race, they were talking about Caulfield and Melbourne Cups with him, and you can say that again, Bruce. He didn't let anyone down.
He's got the white blaze, hasn't he, Wayne?
Yes, and he picks up very quickly in the straight. He was stopped in his tracks as he headed for home there, but when he pulls to the outside in the straight, he's still about 5 lengths off them there. But just have a look at the amount of ground he covers with every stride, Doremus. Here he is coming after the leaders now, and look at him go to them in the last little bit. And so quickly did he finish. He raced away to win by 4 lengths, and his sectional time, 34.6 for the last 600 metres. Outstanding. And Larry Cassidy said to me after as he headed for home, standing, and Larry Cassidy said to me after the race yesterday, from that race to Derby, a minimum 5 lengths improvement.
Earlier, he'd won the Sire's Produce Stakes on Aragen. Watch Aragen come home in the last little bit.
Down the outside, drum led past the 200. Brave Warrior's gone. Chief De Beers has raced up, and here's Aragen. Chief De Beers got to the lead. Aragen is coming after Chief De Beers. Aragen's going home right over the top of them, and Aragen wins the Sires.
She's got a barnstorming finish. Aragen at 14-1. Chief De Beers was second at 14-1, and Drum was third at 3-1.
Brave Warrior, Wayne, surely he's the wounded warrior after yesterday, because this is a horse, this is the colt being touted as possibly the best in Australia.
Yes, Keith, I've got to agree with you. I think you've won the battle, but I don't think you're going to win the war, Keith. I think of that fast. So I thought at the 800-metre point that Chris had done the right thing, and I was happy enough for him to be there, but he gave in quickly in the straight. There wasn't much fight there with him, yet right on the line he was only a length from them. That's Drum in front now. Look for Arrogant. She's behind Chief De Beers. She'll swing to the outside. Look at Scriven riding very confidently on Chief De Beers. Brave Warrior's in trouble. Chief De Beers sprints to the lead, but Arrogant, she's an unorthodox Rory's Jester in so much as she's got no speed early. She gets back, but boy, can't she get to the line. There she is cutting down Chief De Beers, and she went away from Chief De Beers. Drum was third, and Brave Warrior not that far from them in fourth place.
Made amends from a series of recent placings to win a thrilling Stradbroke handicap at Eagle Farm. Ridden by Sydney's leading jockey Kevin Moses, All Our Mob managed to hang on as several other runners flashed home. Here are the closing stages of the $500,000 race.
Then Dan Jeeky, Ferragamo trying to get at them. All Our Mob on the outside, and here comes Simon Stad with a big run at the 200 metres mark. Loudspeaker went to the lead. Here's All Our Mob and Simon Stad rushing up on the outside. Kabora getting up on the fence. All Our Mob just in front of Loudspeaker, Sublimate and Simon Stad. All Our Mob's just in front as they hit the line. It'll win the Stradbroke. All Our Mob.
Success for Kevin Moses, getting All Our...
Then Dan Jeeky, Ferragamo trying to get at them. All Our Mob on the outside, and here comes Simon Stad with a big run at the 200 metres mark. Loudspeaker went to the lead. Here's All Our Mob and Simon Stad rushing up on the outside. Kabora getting up on the fence. All Our Mob just in front of Loudspeaker, Sublimate and Simon Stad. All Our Mob's just in front as they hit the line. It'll win the Stradbroke. All Our Mob.
Success for Kevin Moses, getting All Our Mob to the line ahead of Baggio and Simon Stad.
200 metres of the race. Now, All Our Mob is slipping up to go to the lead. Simon Stad is on the outside, chasing All Our Mob. There's Kabora on the inside. Now, he is getting a clear run from the 200-metre point onwards. All Our Mob is swept to the lead. Kabora trying to get through on the inside. Loudspeaker, Sublimate still there. Simon Stad, and look at Baggio the last little bit. He flew through, but All Our Mob was able to win the Stradbroke handicap.
He too's been unlucky, All Our Mob. I mean, he was flattening the Doom and 10,000. Weights were raised, Wayne, but it was a pretty fair performance with 55. Going through the records, in recent years, only Rough Habit and Campaign King have had more weight and won.
Yes, it was a nice performance.
$1 million Brisbane Cup was won today by New Zealand 6-year-old Sky Flyer. After a disappointing run 9 days ago in the Queensland Oaks, Sky Flyer was never going to let this slip away, enjoying a perfect run.
4 lengths in front of Potential Star, Strike Sparks, and they're followed by Cross Swords, but it's all Sky Flyer with 100 to go. 4 in front of Potential Star, Strike Sparks, Cross Swords, and Old Cool Credit, and Sky Flyer's got the cup, shot to bits.
Sky Flyer started at 13-2, Cool Credit 20-1, and third place Cross Swords 11-2. The unplaced favourite was Potential Star, and that apparently was the last run by Melbourne Cup favourite or hero or whatever, Sub-Zero.
Yes, yeah, apparently that's the story. I think he would have liked to sting out of the ground today for his...
And by Sky Flyer in the Brisbane Cup, really setting the standard, a new Australian record by Sky Flyer in the Brisbane Cup.
Yes, Silk Ali really set it up, didn't he? He went so hard earlier. Did the saddle slip for Dittman on Silk Ali?
I think it probably moved forward just a little bit, but the horse over-raced right from the word go time, and Sky Flyer with just 49 kilos on his back was sitting pretty just behind Silk Ali, and Compton decided to really apply the pressure at the 600-metre point when he sent Sky Flyer to the lead. Now, you can see him well clear at this stage. He's got the Brisbane Cup won with only 49 kilos on his back. There wasn't much chance of them catching him. That's Potential Star in second position, trying hard. Silk Ali weakening right out of it, and Cross Swords making up good ground. But Sky Flyer pretty impressive in scoring there in the Brisbane Cup and showed that he's a genuine 3,200-metre horse. So maybe you should be looking out for him in the spring.
Gee, do you think he'll come to our Melbourne Cup, Wayne? Because his time was probably, almost 2 seconds faster than the Melbourne Cup record set by Kingston Rule.
He will be there with bells on, Keith, believe me.
And Sub-Zero finishing at the back end, retiring. He's had a great career. The track was too hard
but he'll be back on Melbourne Cup Day too, Bruce, as a Clerk of Course's horse.
Yes, he will. He'll be leading them.
Come to our Melbourne Cup, Wayne, because his time was probably, almost 2 seconds faster than the Melbourne Cup record set by Kingston Rule.
He will be there with bells on, Keith, believe me.
And Sub-Zero finishing at the back end, retiring. He's had a great career. The track was too hard
but he'll be back on Melbourne Cup Day too, Bruce, as a Clerk of Course's horse.
Yes, he will. He'll be leading them.